Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, everyone. How are we doing today? Game week 33, deadline charity stream. We'll get on to what the charity is and why I'm doing a charity stream. But that's why we're starting slightly earlier, trying to raise as much money as possible for charity. Somehow at 8:30 in the morning, there are 162 people here already before the stream's even properly started. So if you are in the chat, say hello. As always, let me know where you're tuning in from. Potentially, we've got a lot of people that are more international, potentially due to the time. And I think this time is better for those in Australia and New Zealand. I think that's what Clive usually says. So do let me know where you're tuning in from. Hopefully you've got a coffee or maybe an alcoholic drink if it's the evening for you with yourself. And hopefully it'll be a really enjoyable stream. I am, of course, on my free hit. So we're going to talk about my latest draft. I know people won't like it, but FPL is a game of fun. And it's about trying to pick a team that you like and picking a few differentials in there as well. So, yeah, we're going to get onto all of that. But do let me know where you're from. Say hello. Drop a like on the stream just to start it off. Nice bit of support for me and for the channel. We are quite close to 13,000 subscribers, by the way. I don't know where we are at the latest point. I think we're very, very close, actually. Yeah, we're only 33 subscribers off. Apologies, my voice has gone already. So we can definitely hit that. Wowza, that's not a good start for a 3-hour stream. So yeah, do say hello. Let me know where you're from. We'll jump into the video straight away once we do that and answer your questions. Can see all of the members in the chat. So just before we even get going, if you want to buy a super chat today, by the way, a super chat is where you donate a bit of money to me and your message gets highlighted. Or if you've ever wanted to become a member, your first month's membership or your super chat with today, all of that money will go to charity. So I'm not taking any money from today's stream. Anything that I generate through super chats and memberships is all going to go to charity. So if you've ever wanted to try out the super chat feature, if you've ever wanted to become a member of my channel, please feel free to do so. And today it will all go to charity. Got Matt in the chat, Abdullah, Marcin, good to see you. Max, Ian, loads of members. Andre, good to see you. Cheeks the 777, of course he's in the chat, my man. FPL Bateman, Marcus, nice to see you, my man. Will's in the chat. DJ Hammer, some definite regulars here. I will get through to your questions, by the way. I'd just like to say hello to everyone, especially as it's early in the morning before getting into some intense Game Week 33 questions. Steve's in the chat. Good to see you, Steve. Nicola's in the chat. Bosnia. I'm not going to try and say the second word. I'm really sorry. I'm just going to say Bosnia. I know it's not just Bosnia, but there you go. In from Canada, Finland, Nepal. I'd love to visit Nepal. Love to. India. 1:30 p.m. here in Bangladesh. Yeah, so it looks pretty good for Bangladesh then. Maybe on your lunch break. NYC, good to see it. Love to see it. Lebanon, yeah, so it looks pretty international at the moment. I also feel like English people don't tend to say tuning in from England because they feel it's a bit boring. Morning from Nigeria, Sri Lanka, love to see it. Yeah, so maybe in like Asian countries it's slightly later. I don't know which way it works, whether it's like obviously before or after. Portugal, Houston, smartly dressed for 8:30. I put on the jacket. I can't remember who it was. Was it Chris that told me to put on the jacket? Chris, I think it was Chris. One of our members told me that if I put on this jacket, I'm more likely to get donations because people like the jacket. It's just a t-shirt with a denim jacket over, to be fair. I'm in joggers. I'm not in jeans, so you just can't see that. I'm in slippers as well, so. But again, you can't see that. Matt Powell's become a member. Perfect stuff. There you go. So thank you for demonstrating that, Matt. So Matt's become a member. So everything that I will get from that Wrap Tier 2 membership, that will be donated to charity straight after the stream. So if you want to become a member or you want a super chat, now is the time to do so. I will take a screenshot of the donation, by the way, just to show you that I'm not taking everyone's money and saying it's for charity. Watching from Dudley, the most exotic place represented today. Sounds like it, honestly. From Malaysia. Right, so I just wanted to jump into just showing you and explaining what the charity stuff is today. So that lovely face you can see on your screen, not mine, is my sister. So my sister's doing the 300,000 steps in April for Bone Cancer Research Trust. Basically, my brother-in-law, just before they entered a relationship together, he actually bravely beat bone cancer in 2011. So obviously incredibly brave, fought through it, was very, very tough. I won't go into the details, obviously, because that's his private life, but definitely a worthwhile cause, and as such, something that's very close to our entire family's heart. I'm very, very proud of my sister for doing these 300,000 steps, and I said I'd try and support her in any way I possibly can. So if you can donate today, that's absolutely fantastic. The second link in the description after the Spitch link is to her Facebook page where you can donate directly. So if you don't want to buy a super chat, if you don't want to become a member, that's fine. You can actually donate directly through that link. So please do consider doing that. Like I said, outside of that, any of the super chats. So if you're in the chat right now, there'll be like a little button at the bottom which has like a dollar button on it that says show your support for FPL Raptor. If you click that, you can either buy a super chat or you can become a member. And that will allow you to have a highlighted message. So if you need any support, help with your team today, I'll be able to read the highlighted message. And outside of that, it would obviously support Bone Cancer Research Trust. And like I said, everything that I make from today's stream is going to be donated to that cause. I'm sorry, I'm going to mention this every like 20 or 30 minutes just for new people that are arriving on the stream. So sorry if it's a little bit repetitive, but it is a really worthwhile cause. And I hope that some of you will consider donating either directly to the cause or helping me raise money by buying super chats and memberships. So hopefully that's clear. Like I said, I will bring it up every now and again, but I think it's an extremely worthwhile cause, and hopefully you'll consider supporting me and supporting my sister as well, who again I'm very proud of for doing those 300,000 steps. So all of that being said, whilst I'm sure you're happy with supporting charity, you're not here for the charity, you're here for the FPL. So let's switch over to my team. This is my current free hit draft. Now, don't hate me too much. I will talk through some of the changes that I've made for my team selection video. It is largely the same. Like I said, there's not going to be a massive amount that's going to be changed over the coming sort of 2 hours or so before deadline. There's not much that's changed since then. It's just literally a couple of bits and pieces here and there. And I've decided to go for the fun upside chasing pick. And I've decided to get Sancho into my team. Now, I'm not saying that I expect Manchester United to absolutely batter Norwich, but if you look at the odds, if you look at the data, Manchester United are still a top side from an attacking perspective. They're about 6th across the season for expected goals. Even in more recent weeks, they've actually been similar to Tottenham, who everyone says is this incredible team with respect to attacking data. So I think they could quite easily score 2, 3, 4 goals against Norwich. And people say that they're not going to beat Liverpool, which I 100% agree with. I'm a Manchester United fan. I think we will lose at least by about 2 or 3 goals to Liverpool. That's why I've got Salah in my team. That being said, anyone can score against anyone in FPL. And I could quite easily see us losing 3-4-1 to Liverpool, even something like 5-2 to Liverpool. I would not put that past Manchester United capitulating at the back. But when you own Fernandes and Ronaldo, who are one of them will be on penalties, Sancho in there as well, it's definitely possible that they can grab 2 or 3 goals against Norwich and then 1 goal against Liverpool. Again, I'm not expecting 9 goals from Manchester United across this double game week, but I definitely think the opportunity is there. So I've always had Fernandes and Ronaldo in there. I've decided to get Sancho in over Tellez. Manchester United's defensive data is really not good. I just don't particularly fancy Manchester United for this double game week for that reason, from a defensive perspective. And whilst I do really think Tellez is still a decent option, I've decided to get Sancho in there. To get Sancho into the starting 11, it means that I do have to drop Tellez. So the person that I've actually brought in is Walker-Peters. Now, I do have a bit of a clash between Saka and Walker-Peters, but Walker-Peters has got pretty good attacking data, and I do quite like that Burnley fixture as the second one. And I just think there aren't outside that many defenders I want. If it wasn't going to be Walker-Peters, it would have been Gabriel. But I just don't really trust Arsenal. Again, I've got Adams in the team because I think Adams has a good chance of scoring against Arsenal. And then the second fixture is against Chelsea. So for me at the moment, it makes complete sense to do this. I'm happy with the team. The players that I really think you should potentially consider picking, if you want my sort of differential picks off the bat, Che Adams' underlying data is super, super strong, right? He's got probably the best attacking data from a striker out of all the striking options you've got for the double game week outside of Ronaldo. So if you're looking for a striker with a double, I actually would put Adams above Wood and St. Maximan. According to the data, again, we never know what's going to happen in the double game week. But according to the data, that's what I would go for. Outside of that, Saka is showing really strong underlying data. So I said in my team selection video, I wasn't sure if I wanted to go for Saka. I've decided that sometimes you have to acknowledge when potentially you're missing something. And if you look at the data over the last 6 matches, if you look at the algorithm projections from FPL Review, which we will look at points in today's stream, and if you look at what all of the other top managers are doing, everyone has Saka in their team. And I realized that I was probably missing something. And sometimes you can't see the full picture yourself. So I spent last night looking at his data. It's actually very strong. So I've decided to actually get Saka into my starting 11. I don't think there's that many changes outside of that. If it were the two players that I desperately want in my 11 that I don't currently have now, if you would say, Raptor, who are the two players that you really do want in your starting 11? It's going to be Cornet, and it would be one of Maddison or Barnes. So I'd like a Leicester midfielder in there, but I'm just not sure who starts both. And I actually think Cornet is a fantastic option. So as you can see at the moment, Cornet is my second sub, but I just can't quite work out how to get both in. So it's really difficult. Right, we have got another member. I'm going to absolutely butcher your name, but I'd like to try and pronounce it as Jawali. Let me know if I pronounced that correctly. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Again, all of that will go to charity. Following months will obviously go to the channel, but all of the money this month will go to charity. I massively appreciate you supporting the channel. And then we've got one from Max. Thank you very much. So Max is already a member, so I massively appreciate that. Max says, "Morning, Ross. My wife says it's 12:30 somewhere in the world, so drinks should be allowed." I agree. Yes, let's have a drink together then. I mean, I've got water with a bit of ice, which is nice, but yeah. Sancho or Ronaldo already have Bruno. I still think Ronaldo's the one to go for. I think Ronaldo will start Norwich. I think if he's going to miss one, he'll miss the Liverpool game. But I think if he starts the Norwich game, I still think he's the one to go. I'm still tempted to captain Ronaldo. So if you were pushing me, Max, I would say Ronaldo over Sancho. Thank you very much for the donation, my man. I appreciate that. Got a super chat from Andre. Massively appreciate that, my man. Again, no question from me. Just a little something for a good cause for this wonderful season. I really do appreciate that. The members pulling through already. So again, you can become a member. You can do a super chat. I massively appreciate the two of you donating. My sister will appreciate that more than you know. I did tell her that I'm doing this today. Whether she'll be watching or not, because she's got 2 kids. So whether she'll be watching on a Saturday, potentially not. But I do massively appreciate that. Alex with the super chat as well. Salah to Bruno -4 or Weghorst to Woods/Adams -4. Oh, that's a difficult one because I think Salah's a fantastic option this week, but I do still think Bruno's the best captaincy option. Weghorst, I would have said Weghorst to Woods/Adams 100%, but with the new sort of management team coming in, are they going to be slightly more attacking? Potentially. So it's a difficult one. I would probably still say the Weghorst to Woods/Adams just because I think Salah's going to absolutely pop off this week. But if Salah to Bruno gives you a captaincy shout, maybe that's the one. I do appreciate the donation though. Catlin, thank you very much for the super. All the members pulling through massively. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really do appreciate that. Look at that, already raised. So I'll read out what I'm seeing. So I'm currently seeing chat revenue £22.42. So that's what we've raised already. Again, you can donate directly through the link in the description. If you don't want to go through YouTube, because YouTube take around 30%. If you want to go directly through the link, you can do. The link is in the description. Haha, you messed up the name. Tell me to spell it out phonetically then so I can give you a proper thank you. My free hit team, any thoughts? Schmeichel, Walker-Peters, Shah, Tellez, Son, Saka, Bruno, Maddison, Kane, Ronaldo, St. Max. I can't see any issues with that. I think I slightly prefer Adams to St. Max, but it's a very close one. So absolutely, I've got no issues with that team at all. Really, really nice team. I like a lot of those picks in there. What are you doing with Sancho in your team now? I think Sancho's a decent pick. His underlying data is not very good, but the Norwich fixture is obviously quite nice. If it's not Sancho, it's Cornet. And I just think Sancho's probably slightly more nailed on for minutes. He's probably going to miss the Norwich game now, but I just think he's a decent pick, and it's a bit of fun, isn't it? Reeves in the chat. Good morning, Reeve. Flipping a coin on JWP and Adams this morning. Yeah, I was having this chat with FPL Irons yesterday on Twitter. We basically came to the conclusion, if you take penalties out the equation, Adams just about edges Ward-Prowse. So if you're deciding between Ward-Prowse and Adams, Adams just about edges Ward-Prowse with respect to underlying data, projected points. When you put penalties into it, it becomes a little, the waters get muddied a little bit, because if he gets a penalty, you've got to say Ward-Prowse comes out on top. But trying to predict a penalty is impossible. Even across the season, sometimes players will get 15 penalties. Sometimes teams will get, like Leicester in the past, Manchester United in previous seasons, they'll get like 12 to 15 penalties a season. And then some seasons, they'll get absolutely nothing. So I would prefer to go for the one, if he is coming out on top, that's coming out on top without penalties. And therefore, I'm just about leaning towards Adams. But I think Ward-Prowse is absolutely fine as well. I think both are absolutely fine, to be honest. Who should I captain between Wood, Son, Salah, or Maddison as my captain? I'd go for Chris Wood. Chris Wood's coming out very high on algorithm predictions. So I was just speaking to Kaz. Let me actually open up what Kaz has said. So if you don't know Kaz are over on Twitter, I think he's a top manager. He obviously, there's a lot of banter over on Twitter about the way he answers questions, but he is very analytical, and I do trust his opinion. I asked him why. Oh, so you can see that. 2 seconds. Is that better? I'm trying to work out OBS here. There you go. Right. He said. So I basically asked, why is Wood coming out so high? Because he sent me the premium model projections from FPL Review. Chris Wood is the second highest for projected points this game week. For 8.7, he's above Sancho, above Fernandes, above Saka. I asked why, because Chris Wood's underlying data is really not that great. He said to me, he thinks it's because he gets obviously 2 home games, which is a massive advantage. Guaranteed 4 appearance points. Obviously, if he gets booked, then it's less, but guaranteed 4 points. He's on penalties, which means that his floor is 4 points on pens. And when he does score, he's very, very good for bonus. So what that essentially boils down to is if Chris Wood scores in this double game week, he's probably got a minimum of 10 to 11 points. So if you're wondering why Chris Wood and why I think Chris Wood's a decent captaincy shout, he tends to be quite high up for that reason, right? So that's why everyone's got him in the team. That's why I would recommend potentially giving him the armband. I think it's a decent shout, at least in my opinion. Ian, I massively appreciate. I love that it's the members already supporting the channel are the ones coming through the donations. Massively appreciate that, Ian. Wavering on Tellez and now thinking Tarkowski as a punt. Already have Shah Gabriel. I actually don't mind Tarkowski as a punt. I think that could be good. Obviously, he's got a thunder bastard in him. He's pretty good from corners. I still think I would prefer Tellez to Tarkowski. You might. I don't know if you've considered Walker Peters. I've got Walker Peters in my team as well. Or outside of that, you could double up on the defence with Target. But yeah, I don't mind Tarkowski at all. Massively appreciate the super chat and the donation to charity. Another super chat from Martin again, another member. I do appreciate it. Just says good luck to everyone. I do appreciate that very much, man. Thank you. We are on £31.41 through super chats. Of course, there is ad revenue. Of course, there is also direct donations. So people might have already directly donated. I haven't actually checked, but anyone that's donating, I do appreciate that. Just before we move on, these live streams are also supported by Spitch. So I'm just going to quickly give a shout out to Spitch now that there are a few more people in the chat. So this will be really quick. Obviously, like I said, everything today is going to charity anyway. So if you want to support the channel, support charity, etc., you can download Spitch. Link is the first link in the description. Spitch is essentially another fantasy football game, another fantasy football platform. With Spitch, I think it's only still UK and Germany. So if you're outside the UK and Germany, you probably can't download it, but still give it a go. Link in the description. It allows you to essentially create a free hit team each week. So you pick a team just for that upcoming game week. And the reason I love Spitch so much is because the point systems are so much more advanced than FPL, and it gives you just a little bit of a fresh take. So the likes of like Ward-Prowse, Tielemans are so much better than you would see on something like FPL, because you get points for passes, interceptions, all of this different stuff. Key passes are massive. That some players that aren't fantastic in FPL are really good options in Spitch. So I just think it mixes up the game for me. It is 18 plus, so please gamble away. If you're below the age of 18, shut your eyes, ignore what I'm saying here. And of course, if you don't like gambling, don't download it. But I don't pay, right? All of these are free. So all of the competitions I enter are free. I'm not a big gambler for the reasons that I've spoken about before on Twitter, so I don't gamble, but you have the option to gamble on this. So beware about that. But please do give it a download. Link in the description. Helps to support the channel. I think it's a cool game as well. But I just want to give a massive shout out to Spitch, who are sponsoring the live streams here on this channel for the rest of the season. That's all done now. Back to FPL. Got another super chat from Kevin. Massively appreciate that. Just £2. You didn't ask anything, Kevin, but if you did want to ask something, I'll look out for your message in the chat. I do appreciate you donating. KDB possibly out. So KDB looks like, he doesn't look like he's been training along with Walker. So I think probably KDB and Walker will be out of the FA Cup semi-final. But of course, they've still got time until the game in midweek. Ross, my brother, respect the hustle with these long streams. To be fair, twofold. Number one, I love the long streams anyway. I enjoy sitting here and chatting. I'm a lecturer, obviously, for my day job. I lecture, and my lectures are 2 hours. So I'm used to just talking for 2 hours. But also, because this is for charity, I wanted to start super early. I think the earlier we start, the longer we have money to raise for charity. So, oh, goodness me. I've already had my coffee as well, so I'm feeling good. I've got water for the stream. Talking for a long time. If you don't lecture and you don't talk for a long time, talking for a long time absolutely kills the throat. So water is essential. If you are enjoying the stream, by the way, do drop a like on the video. Dropping a like on the video basically pushes that up the YouTube algorithm, and then YouTube spread the video to other people. So if you wonder why YouTube has asked for likes, the more people that like a video, YouTube go, oh, people are enjoying this, let me push this out to people that don't usually see the video. So that's the way the YouTube algorithm works. So if you want to drop a like on the video, I do massively appreciate it. Is that your free hit team? This is my free hit team, yes. Salah and Adams or Kane and Saka? I prefer Salah and Adams, but Kane and Saka is also a fantastic option. As you can see, I've got Salah, Adams, and Saka, so I think those... I just about prefer Salah to Kane this week. Is White a good defensive option? He's all right for a clean sheet, but you're probably not expecting any more than that. I think there are better options out there on a free hit, probably. What to do with Harvey Barnes? I think I'd keep Harvey Barnes. I think Harvey Barnes is fantastic for this week. As we discussed in the Game Week preview video, I think Harvey Barnes is absolutely fine for this week. Why no Maddison? I just don't think that Maddison's going to start both games, so that's my personal opinion on that. Thinking of going for Kane over Salah, CR7, Adams, Kane. What mid-price mid would you recommend over Salah? Or I could go Wood and then JWP to start. Mid-price mid, I think, is my top 3 options for this week. This is just my opinion. Again, there are so many options you can choose from. Is Saka, Cornet, and Barnes. I just think Barnes is slightly more likely to start both, and the matchups this week, I think that Barnes could have a bit of a field day against those 2 opposition teams. So those would be the ones I'd go for. Got a super chat from Stephen. Again, the members pulling through. I massively appreciate that, Stephen. Hello, mate. I have the exact money to do Kulusevski to Sancho for a -4. I will be wildcarding next week. I could always do Salah or Son to Fernandes. I quite like Kulusevski to Sancho, but I also quite like Son to Fernandes as well. You do whichever one you prefer, my man. I think if that were my team, I'd feel more comfortable doing Kulusevski to Sancho. Do you not fancy Ronaldo or just feel you can't go without Salah? I've got Ronaldo in my team. It's just the away kits might have thrown you slightly, but I've got Ronaldo in my team. So why no Maddison and Barnes? Barnes might still make his way into my team. So Barnes is out of everyone that's not in there at all. Barnes is the one that's most likely to make his way into my team. Maddison, I just don't think is going to start both games. I can't see Maddison starting both games. If he does, I'm in trouble because he's in really good form. But I think he'll miss the Newcastle game, and I think there's the potential that he plays the Everton game. But Everton have been extremely good even under Lampard at home this season. So if you look at Everton's home form, Everton have been very difficult to beat at home. I'm just taking a punt against Maddison, to be honest. I think Sancho and Saka are fine in there. Fernandes and Salah. I like my midfield 4 at the moment. And I like Adams and Wood up top alongside Ronaldo. Got another super chat from Amir. Massively appreciate that. Thank you very much. Kane to Ronaldo -4 or Rafinha to Saka -4. Oh, that's really tricky. If it's Saka, pick a captain between Salah, Saka and Wood. I think I would do Kane to Ronaldo and captain Ronaldo. It's an upside chasing pick, but just beware, that is a huge risk. Kane is playing very, very well at the moment. His underlying data is slightly better than Ronaldo. So if you make that move, that's a massive risk. If you do make the Rafinha to Saka move, I'd captain Wood out of those players there. It doesn't make sense that you pick players that don't match stats since you are a stats-based manager. I would say I'm a slightly stats-based manager, but I equally think that it's a tricky balance to find because I don't. If I just blindly followed FPL review every week, it's number 1, it's boring, and number 2, I still do believe there are things that FPL review don't take into account. That being said, I don't think that I pick many players that aren't supported by the stats. I think the only player in this team here that isn't backed up by the stats is Sancho. That being said, if you take into account his Dortmund stats, and if you look at FPL review, Sancho's actually massively favoured. So there is no one in my starting 11 here that isn't backed by either underlying statistics or the algorithms. And I am a human. Like, I'm cognitively biased. I make decisions that aren't optimal all the time. Every week I make, for someone that's written a book on the psychology of FPL, every week I make hundreds of mistakes. Everyone does. That's the whole point of cognitive biases. I think that's why they're so exciting for me. I got a super chat from FPL the Mac. Massively appreciate it, my man. What rank are you, by the way, now? Are you still just behind Johnny? You'll have to let me know. Last minute decision is Maddison versus Barnes. Doing my research this morning to come to my decisions. Always happy to support a good cause, Ross. So in my personal opinion, I would go Barnes. I think the two teams that they're playing in Newcastle and Everton both concede more chances down their right flank. So I think that's number one in favour of Barnes. I think Barnes is going to play slightly more minutes. Number two in favour of Barnes. And if you look at minutes per expected goal involvement over the last 6 matches, Barnes actually comes out on top. So we'll do a bit of a stats deep dive in a bit because we've got so long until the deadline. I'll jump on to Fantasy Football Scout and we can look at some of this. I would actually go Barnes. That being said, if Maddison starts both games, Maddison is the pick. Maddison is just looking so good at the moment. And again, that is a bit of ignoring stats a little bit. Maddison is passing the eye test massively at the moment. Looks so good. Thank you for the super chat. Got another super chat from Max. Massively appreciate it. Which Manchester City mid would you go for on your free hit? Currently have Foden or would you just go Saka? So I think that City are going to go close to full strength against Liverpool. I actually think Jesus was okay against Liverpool in the league. So what I think we could see as a front three for the City game, if De Bruyne is out, I think we'll see Foden on the left. I think we'll see Jesus on the right or up top. And then I think we'll see Sterling potentially going to the starting 11. Maybe Foden or Bernardo Silva in the false 9. I've got a feeling that if you're on a free hit and you want a Manchester City mid, it's probably Mahrez. But Mahrez is a very risky one because sometimes he'll go like 7 games without starting in the Prem. I would probably just go with Saka, as I've done here. But if you're going to go for a Manchester City mid-max, I think it'd be Mahrez for me. I think Mahrez is a really decent shout. But there you go. So it's up to you. We've got almost 600 people watching at 9 a.m. in the morning. I do massively appreciate that. If you're in the stream, we're doing a charity stream. I'll just switch back to this graphic just to give you a bit of context again. So I am raising money for Bone Cancer Research Trust. So my sister's completing the 300,000 steps in April challenge. So essentially what that is it's 10,000 steps a day. It's to get people active and also raise some money for bone cancer research. So it's because my brother-in-law did suffer from bone cancer back in 2011. I'm not going to go into all of the details, like I said, because it's personal matters there, but something that's very close to my family's heart as a result. And the link in the description, the second one after the Spitch link, is to donate directly to her cause. So she would massively appreciate if you go onto her cause today, onto her page, and if she sees some donations flying in, as well as everything that I'm going to donate, she'd massively appreciate that. But if you don't want to go onto that and donate that way, what you can do is you can buy a super chat. So as you can see, all these highlighted messages that are coming through as super chats, all of the money, every penny that I make, not going to take any money today, all of that money is going to go to charity. And also the other thing you can do is if you want to become a member of the channel, your first month, i.e. this first donation, all of that will go to charity as well. So you can either buy a super chat, become a member, or directly donate to her cause, link in the description. All of the money from today's stream, including ad revenue, including the sponsorship, everything that I make today is going to go directly towards bone cancer research. So everything that you donate today, see it as a donation rather than see it as supporting me. I'm going to mention this every 20 or 30 minutes. I'm not going to mention it too often, but there you go. If you wanted a bit of context, if you've just joined the stream. Do we really need Salah instead of Son? I prefer Salah this week. It might be pessimism as a Manchester United fan. It's essentially, I think Salah against Telles and Maguire is actually laughable. Like, if you actually sit there for a second and think, Mohamed Salah against Maguire and Alex Telles, that's quite worrying as a Manchester United fan. If you also take into account the fact that Fred and McTominay are injured, we are going to be we're going to be playing against Liverpool after, again, a pretty difficult game against Norwich, or at least a game against Norwich at the weekend. We've then got Arsenal and Chelsea the other side of that. We're going to have Matic at central defensive midfield, and we're going to have Telles and Maguire in defence, and Lindelof. We don't even have Varane. So it's going to be a back four of probably Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire and Telles, and Matic at CDM against the best attack in the world. You let me know if you want Salah in your team. I want him in my team. But I also think Son's a fine option as well. DJ Hammer has become a member. I massively appreciate it. So DJ Hammer, I know you watch every single video. You're always commenting. So thank you for becoming a member. Hopefully you enjoy becoming a member. All of the members, DJ Hammer included, if you DM me on Twitter, email me, or message me on Discord, I'll add you to our private Discord channel. So if you want to know what all of the potential benefits are of becoming a member, it's essentially one-on-one support from myself. So you get to chat to me about your team. Anytime you want team feedback, you get to chat to me. You get entered into our private Discord chat so you can discuss with loads of other top managers. Get entered into our private Discord channel as well. And you get member shout outs as well. So thank you very much, DJ Hammer. All of that will go to charity for this month. Indian football coach, morning, Ross. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing well, man. How are you? 2 to start out of Kulusevski, James, and Erdegaard. I would start Erdegaard for the double, and then I would probably start Reece James. I just think Reece James is so good, isn't he? Although Kulusevski has been very good recently, and at least you know Kulusevski's going to start. I'd start the doubler, and then it would be a straight shot for me between James and Kulusevski. I was not expecting this many people here, to be honest, on a Saturday morning at 9 a.m. So thank you for being here. I do really appreciate it. Have we hit 13,000 subs yet? Hey, we just hit it. Thank you very much. So we just hit 13,000 subscribers. I do really appreciate that. It's a little bit slow going at the end of the season, but considering we started the YouTube channel this season. So we've only been going on YouTube about 8 or 9 months, just hit 13,000 subscribers. So I do really appreciate that. Thank you. Barnes or Cornet on the free hit. I'm just about leaning towards Cornet. I don't have either of them. As you can see, I've got Cornet first sub. I think they are the 2 players, right? I might potentially change this team. If I do change my team, it will be either to bring in Cornet or to bring in Barnes. They're the 2 players that I desperately want in my team. Madison downgrade for Cancelo to Trent. No, I don't think so. I think Cancelo is probably better than Trent this week, to be honest. I think the clean sheet's slightly more likely. Thank you for the congratulations on the 13th. I was the 13,000th sub. I do appreciate that. Welcome to the channel. Does Lacazette have to go? I would be surprised if Lacazette starts. Apparently, yesterday, again, 3rd day in a row, he wasn't in training. Arteta said that he's got personal reasons that he's not in training, but he might be available for Game Week 33. He didn't say for Game Week 33, but he said for the upcoming games. I'd just get rid of him, personally. I don't think he's going to be available for Southampton. He might be off the bench. He might be available for Chelsea. But at that stage, it's basically a single game week against Chelsea, and I don't really fancy that. What about Ward-Prowse? I love Ward-Prowse. If you go onto FPL Review, they love Ward-Prowse as well. A lot of the top managers have gone for Ward-Prowse. Again, another player that I would like in my team. I've just favoured Adams just about. Son double hat-trick incoming. Interesting. Six goals would be the end of my season, so I hope not, but we'll wait and see. Really hard to ignore Maddison's form. Depends what you mean by form. Again, this isn't me being a mug. Like, I know a lot of people love the word form. What does form actually mean? If you can give me a good definition of form, for sure. But the issue with form is, if you're talking about underlying statistics, i.e. getting in a lot of good goal-scoring opportunities, Maddison isn't that in form. His data is actually worse than Barnes. We're going to look at some statistics in a second. If you're talking about actual returns, goals, and assists, yeah, he's scoring a lot of goals and getting a lot of assists at the moment. But the data doesn't suggest that he's going to continue that at a crazy rate. And it's the same with Son, to be honest. So I'm banking on Son and Maddison not continuing to absolutely smash it. At some point, they can't continue to perform at that rate unless their underlying statistics improve. Tellez or Kyle Walker-Peters? I actually think I still prefer Tellez, but I've gone for Sancho, Fernandes, Ronaldo, so I can't also go for Tellez. So I think Kyle Walker-Peters is fine. Your thoughts on KDB as a captain differential? KDB's injured, so I wouldn't be going KDB unless we get something today which says that he's no longer injured. Would you risk Ronaldo over Kane on your free hit? I mean, I've got my free hit active and I've got Ronaldo, so yes, I would. What does FPL Review say about Bruno? I'm not going to try and pronounce his name. Bruno G. I don't know. I can look for you if you want. Shall we? I don't know. I haven't really prepared a graphic for it. I think this is going to look absolutely shocking. Yeah, it is. That's the issue we've got here. I'll do it off screen then. I'll have a look at Bruno for you and let you know. Bruno G. If anyone can write down is he from Brazil? The phonetic spelling of Bruno G. His surname. That'd be fantastic. If you could let me know the phonetic spelling of it. That would be super helpful for me. I'll just check what his projected points are. Bruno. 5.8. What's his expected minutes, though? Because they might have his expected minutes quite low. Depends how many minutes you're expecting him to play, I guess. No, his expected minutes are actually very high, 77. No, about 5.8, which if you want a comparison, that puts him about the same as Carl Walker-Peters. That puts him about the same as Gabriel in defence. So, yeah, FPL review, don't mind him at all. Got a super chat from Joel. I really appreciate that, Joel. I know you watch a lot of the content, so thank you very much. Thoughts on a Spurs triple up for the next few weeks? Kane, Son, and Kulu. Interestingly, on my wildcard 34, I only have one Spurs. Now, that's not to say I don't think they're great options. I do think that, again, if you look at the data, Spurs aren't going to continue to win 4 and 5-0 every week. They could do, but it doesn't look like they will. I think you can probably do 2, if I'm honest. But I don't hate the triple up at all, mate. I don't hate the triple up at all. But I think you can probably get away with one of Kane and Son and Kulu, or maybe just the Kane and Son and then go for a cheaper option instead of Kulu. But I think they're all fine. It's completely what you fancy, to be honest. But thank you very much for supporting charity. Got a huge super chat, £8.99 from Steve. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'll thank you on Twitter later as well. Great advice, great content, and a great cause. Thank you, my man. I do appreciate that. Already, so I'll be completely... So we've got £64.43 from Super Chats. So again, you might have donated directly to her cause if you did, thank you. But £64.43 is absolutely massive. Already, only 9 a.m. FPL The Max says, form for me is how much a player will over or underperform his expected stats. So Son well outperforming his XG is in form. Salah underperforming is out of form. Okay, I like that definition as well. But for me then, form isn't a good indication of whether you should bring in a player because players don't tend to overperform or underperform for elongated periods. Right? They tend to regress back to the mean. So potentially form isn't the best. I don't know. There's no correct answer to this. And as you'll see, analytical people don't tend to win FPL. A lot of people that just make random gut calls tend to win FPL. So yeah, there's no right or wrong answer to this, I don't think. Pocket says, "Hi Russ, don't know if you need moral support or others. On paper, at least, your team looks lovely, making me want to free hit." Thank you. I appreciate the kind. A lot of people don't like my free hit because I've got triple Manchester United attack, and I don't have Kane and Son. So a lot of people are going to look at this and go, "That's a terrible free hit." I like it for me. Super chat from Ivan: Saka and Maddison / Barnes or Martinelli and Sancho. Oh, that is tricky, isn't it? I think that's the most difficult question I've been asked yet, to be honest. Oh, man, that's such a tricky question. I can't answer that, and you've just done it. If you're pushing me, I think the high upside play is Martinelli and Sancho. The safer play is probably Saka and Barnes, just about. That's a really tricky question. I'm sorry I can't give a better answer to that. Let Ivan know in the chat, other people. Would you prefer Saka and Maddison / Barnes, so Saka and a Leicester mid, or Martinelli and Sancho? Do let him know in the chat. Got a big super chat from True Fandela. Hello, Ross. My free hit 33 is Dubravka, Shah, Cancelo, Telles, Mo, Bruno, Son, JWP, Martinelli, Wood, CR7. That's an excellent free hit. Love that. 500k rank, so in need of differentials. Cedric first on the bench. CR7 captain. Am I good to go? I love that free hit. Yeah, I think you're good to go. A free hit in and of itself is the differential. No one's going to own all of it. Like, I reckon Shah, Walker-Peters, Target, Wood, Adams, Sancho and Ronaldo are all going to be differentials for me, just as an example. A free hit is a differential in and of itself. I think you could massively push up the rank in there, True Fandela. Love that. Really, really nice. Tom's given a super chat. Thank you very much, Tom. I appreciate that, my man. Morning, Russ. Hope you're well. I believe it's Bruno Guimaraes. Cool. Thank you very much for trying to help me there. By the way, what min do you think Norwich score against us this week? I'm going to go a little bit late. I'm going to go like 73rd minute Norwich are going to score against us. No, I actually think we're going to keep a clean sheet. That's why I have Tellers in my team, right? I had Tellers in my team because I actually think there's a good chance that Manchester United keep a clean sheet against Norwich. So if you were pushing me, I think we'll keep a clean sheet. I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet against Liverpool, though. Loads of super chats flying in. I'm going to try and make sure I get them all, right? CP Baby says, great calls, great content creator. Thanks, mate. I appreciate that you're using your super chat and not even asking a question for your FPL team. That's really kind of you. Thank you. £10 as well is massive. Thank you, CP Baby. I appreciate that. And I love the dog in glasses picture for your profile. And John Vasiliou, sorry if I butchered your surname there. Welcome to the Rap Tier 2 membership. Thank you for becoming a member. I massively appreciate that as well. You guys are so generous. I was expecting maybe £50 to £100 across the entire stream. We're on £91 and we've only been streaming for 43 minutes. You're so kind, genuinely. My sister will be very grateful. Thank you. Alex Riley with another super chat. I appreciate the second super chat. Tony Wood or Veghorst? Just for this week, it's got to be Chris Wood for me. Long term, I think Tony might be the one to own. You know, Tony looks very good at the moment, but I think we got to back the doubler. I think I'd be going for Wood. $711 people watch him. That's pretty nice. You wait till Andy starts streaming, though. That'll drop. If you are in the chat, thank you so much for being here today. I massively appreciate it. This is a charity stream, so if you want to buy a super chat or buy a membership, all of the money is going to be donated to charity, so it's up to you. What to do with KDB and Jota? What to do with them? I think they're fine long-term as options. This week, KDB might be a bit of an issue. Is Jota injured? Have I missed something? I haven't heard anything about Jota. Is Jota injured? Let's have a look. Oh, he is. Oh, yeah, he picked up a knock. I do remember actually seeing that. The issue is we've got still like a 5 days-ish until their game. They've obviously got the FA Cup semi-final first. I think I'd keep. That's such a tricky decision. They're both great options long term, so I'd want to keep them both. To be honest, I'd probably keep them both and try and make sure you've got a strong bench. Ward-Prowse or Sancho? I'm going for Sancho. I think that's a pretty close call, though. Of course, super chats are flooding in. Love to see it. JWP is a differential captain over Kane. Yeah, actually, I don't mind that at all. I really don't mind that. JWP is very, very high up on all of the algorithm projections. He's got decent underlying data. He's on corners, free kicks, and penalties. And the fixture against Burnley's a nice one. Arsenal look like they're capitulating a little bit at the back. That's why I don't have any Arsenal defenders. So, yeah, I don't mind JWP as a captain at all. Thank you for the donation, Emmett. Stefan says, or Stephen, sorry, for whatever way it is. Thoughts on my free hit team? Should I drop Maddison? Dubravka, Cedric, KWP, Shah, Maddison, Son, Fernandez, Ward-Prowse, Wood, Kane, Ronaldo. I love that free hit. There's no major issue there for me. The only thing is, apparently, Tomiyasu's close to being back, so Cedric might be a slight risk there, but I don't have an issue with that team at all. Should you drop Maddison? I think Maddison's fine. Again, FPL review, even taking into account minutes, really likes Maddison. I'm not as convinced just because I don't think he'll start one of the two games, probably the Newcastle game. So I'm slightly less hot on Maddison, but I'm not going to tell you to drop him. So I think you're fine there. Nico has become a member. Nico has become a member. I massively appreciate that. Welcome to Rap Tier 2 membership. I do appreciate the support very much. So we've got 5 new members. We have raised £99.26. Almost at £100 already. Thank you so much. Sorry, by the way, the chat's going pretty quick because there's 750 people here. And with all the super chats, I'm struggling to answer other questions. So I'd appreciate it. Hello, mate. Thoughts on Chalobah today versus Arsenal? Got him in my starting 11. Well, he's not playing today, is he? The game's in midweek, right? I'm not messed that up ever. Yeah, the game is Wednesday at 7:45. So you ideally don't want him to start today. You want him to start in midweek. I would be potentially slightly less hot on Chalobah, but I mean he's an okay option. Gabriel with a donation. Thank you very much, my man. Also a member. Members pulling through hot here. I know you already have triple Newcastle, but would you still go Schmeichel over Dubravka if you choose? Great content, by the way, Ross. Cheers. Thank you very much, Gabe, by the way, for the donation. If I had a spare slot, I preferred Dubravka to Schmeichel. As I said in my video, the reason I've got Share, Target, and Schmeichel is I think it's a good balance between Share and Target and Nailed. Although apparently Share might be rotated for Lascelles, I saw someone say, which would be a bit of a sucker punch, but unlikely. I just think Schmeichel offers a route into the Leicester defence whilst also having 2 Newcastle defenders. So if you're asking my opinion, a straight shootout between Schmeichel and Dubravka, I prefer the Dubravka, Gabe, but I just like this combination. Cool. Polk it with a massive donation. Please, everyone in the chat, say thank you. Thank you to Polk it. That is a huge donation. Massive. That's about, I think, about £30 UK. So thank you so much. A superb cause. Guests being nice runs in the family. Thank you so much. I do really appreciate it. Hope this helps and makes a difference. It will make a huge difference. Not for me, but for Bone Cancer Research Trust. Every little penny helps. I massively, massively appreciate that. Yeah, everyone drop a massive thank you in the chat to Polkit. That is ridiculously generous. That's put us up to £131. I just saw someone ask, by the way, how to get the away kits. I will drop the link in the chat. I think it's a nice little touch. It does get a little bit confusing. Sometimes you'll be looking at your screen going, I haven't got a player from Manchester United. You've actually got a triple up. But I think it's a nice little touch. It was made by a guy over on Twitter called @FFTrout. FF_Trout, I should say. Let's drop it here. I've just spammed the link a few times. If you go to that link, it's a Chrome extension. As far as I know, it's perfectly safe. It's a Chrome extension. So basically, when you go onto your pick team, it switches the kits out for you to the away kit. So it's just a normal Chrome extension. So you can get it on your phone, you can get it on your laptop, computer, whatever it may be. Share is Newcastle captain. He ain't getting dropped. Yeah, I hope so, Lee. But I just saw a few people, because Lascelles used to be captain, didn't he? I saw a few people say that he could be rotated for Lascelles. I don't think so either, but I just thought I'd drop that in there. Tellers out. Why? Yeah, Tellers out. So I didn't particularly want to have Tellers in. Tellers out, I should say. But I wanted Sancho. I just had a good feeling about Sancho. So I've dropped Sancho for that reason. I've dropped Tellers for that reason to get Sancho in, I should say. Jisus use his highlighted message. So if you are a member, by the way, you get one highlighted message a month. He says Kane and Laporte and Barnes, okay, or Adams and Cher and Son. If you're asking, if this is a free hit, I can't remember if you're in a free hit or not, mate. I would say Adams, Cher and Son, rather than Kane, Laporte and Barnes. But that's a pretty close one. I like both options, to be honest. Trust your gut feeling on that one. A lot of free hit for me is just trusting your gut feeling. Fabian Cher or Burn. Burn's probably the most nailed, but he's underlying data. If you're looking at the underlying data for Cher, Target, and Burn's got the worst underlying data there. So that's why I've got Target and Cher. Why is no one considering Pereira for Leicester? He could be a hidden pick this week. No, I don't think he'll start both. I think against Newcastle, I'm going to go all out and say they're going to switch their back four again. So I think against Newcastle, I think you'll see Justin, Soyuncu, Amati, and Thomas. You can try and hold me accountable to that. I'm not a Leicester fan, but if I had to predict the back four against Newcastle for Leicester, it would be that. And then I think they would probably then switch their back four again for Everton. I know it seems strange to keep on switching their back four, but then I think Pereira and Castagna will come back in against Everton. But they've basically got two entire back fours, Leicester. So I think their first 11 back four is Pereira, Evans, Fofana, and Castagna. Right? I think that's the ideal back four. But then they've still got Justin, Thomas, Soyuncu, and Amati. So they've got an incredibly strong backup back four. So I would be... that's why I've got Schmeichel personally, as opposed to going for Justin, Castagna, Pereira. God knows who's going to start. Is the reason. Foden to Havertz or Sancho. Long term, it's got to be Havertz, hasn't it? Especially as they're likely to have a double game week 34. But for now it's Sancho. Maybe go Sancho then Havertz. Great calls. I have 3 chips. If I bench boost instead of free hit, I can enable a stronger wild card next week. I do like, if you can get a bench boost out, I would bench boost this week because, like you say, it allows you to just put money in your starting 11 for your wild card. So yeah, I'd bench boost it. Yeah, get it out of the way. I don't think the bench boost 36 is going to be as great as it was just because the strikers are a bit naff at the moment. Should I start Carl Walker or Anderson? I'd start Walker because if he's fit, he plays. If he's not fit, Anderson will come on anyway. But it looks like he's not going to play anyway. I think he said he's got a twist. I think that's what Pep said. It looks like there's a decent chance Walker's injured anyway. So maybe start Walker and then Anderson will come off the bench. I'm trying to donate, but as I'm in another country this weekend, it says the product isn't available in the stores. I can't like donate pounds. Any idea how I can fix it? I'm not sure, mate. You can try through Facebook, but you might have the same issue. So the link in the description, I'll just switch back to this. You can donate through Super Chats or through memberships, or there's a link in the description to donate directly through her Facebook link. So you can donate directly through that link. Outside of that, this is still going to go on for the next 2 or 3 weeks. She's doing it throughout all of April, so you can just wait until you're back in your home country to do it. So there are multiple ways to donate. Outside of that, just sharing the live stream and asking other people to donate is another way to do it as well. So yeah, there are multiple ways to donate. Hopefully, most of you can find a way to sort that. Thoughts on Cedric? I don't mind Cedric at all. Like I said, there were a few people talking about maybe Tomiyasu being back, but I can't see it, to be honest. So I think Cedric's absolutely fine as a punt. I prefer Gabriel if you can get there, but I just don't think I trust Arsenal's defence with no Partey and no Tierney. They're now having to play either Xhaka at left back or Tavares, I should say, at left back. And whatever way they do it, their defence is weaker as a result. Xhaka at left back means they have no Xhaka in midfield, so they've got to play a midfield 3 of Smith Rowe, Erdegaard, and Lokonga. Outside of that, if Xhaka's in midfield, they've got to play Tavares at left back. Ramsdale's been pretty poor recently if you look at the underlying data from a keeping perspective, so I just don't fancy the Arsenal defence this week, which is why I've got Adams in my team. And I don't have an Arsenal defender. Sorry, like I said, chat moves quite quickly at the moment. Free hit 33 or 37. It's completely team dependent. I think the 37 free hit's less appealing than it once was. The reason that I say that is just because Chelsea look like they'll no longer double in 37 unless they obviously lose to Palace, and it looks more likely that Manchester City's double will go into 36. That means that essentially on a free hit 37, you're targeting Aston Villa and Crystal Palace. Is Aston Villa and Crystal Palace that great of a double to target for free hit? Potentially. Like they do have really nice doubles. Let me just remind myself who they each have. So in 37, the double for Villa, I should say, is Crystal Palace at home and Burnley at home. That is a really nice double for Villa. So you can get like a Coutinho captain, Cash, and then maybe Ollie Watkins. And then who is it for Palace? For Palace, they have Aston Villa away, Everton away. So Palace and Villa are really nice. You can have a triple up on both. But what I would say is that Villa also double in 36. So you could probably get Coutinho and Cash in anyway, just with your free transfer, because they double in 36, they double in 37. And Palace, you can probably get Mark Gehi, Mitchell, or potentially Mateta in anyway. So I think you can probably get 3 or 4 from Palace and Villa in regardless with transfers, which makes it slightly less appealing in my personal opinion. So yeah. By the way, if anything pops up on Twitter, just let me know in the chat, because I don't like scrolling through Twitter too much whilst I'm on a live stream. So I can sometimes miss some early team news as a result. Whoa, we just got a lot of super chats whilst I was looking at that. Let me go through. I don't want to miss any of these. Whoa, out of nowhere. Cool. Matt Greenwood, thank you for becoming a member. I massively appreciate that. Welcome to the Rap Tier family. Greg S, thank you very much for the donation. Says, share or Bruno G? Share for me, 100%. I think he's a really good option. I think I prefer the defense this week. I do think that Bruno G is a good option. Maybe just because I can't pronounce his name, but no, I prefer Share personally. Nick, thank you very, very much for the donation. Bench 2 of Rudiger, James, Havertz, Broja, Weghorst, KDH, Kulusevski, Robertson. Include lots of names to see your thoughts, but pretty set on not benching a few of those. I have to bench 2. I would bench Rudiger. And, my camera's lagging out. 2 seconds. I'm still here. Don't leave the stream. I just have to... Oh, God, my camera just threw itself. I just have to reset the camera every now and again. It lags out on OBS. Bench 2. I would bench Rudiger. And I would bench... I'll be honest. I'd bench maybe Robertson. It would definitely be Rudiger. And then the other one would be one of James, Kulusevski, or Robertson. It's a really tricky one there. I'd play all of the doublers. I'm a bit of a sucker for a doubler. I think they're all pretty decent doublers as well, Nick. Got another super chat from Luke. Very cool. So the person that's just donated is is Luke. So I'm going to wait till my face is back on then to answer that one because that's pretty cute. I'll get back to that, Luke, 2 seconds. John says, great calls. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much, Don. You've become a member and you've donated £20. That is so kind. My family will appreciate that and Bone Cancer Research Trust will appreciate that as well. Thank you very much, my man. That is very, very kind of you. People are very generous. The thing I've noticed already is that people are incredibly generous. So thank you so much for that. Let's see if the cameras back are working now. I need to work out a way to sort this blinking camera. It just starts to, it's an expensive camera as well. It just starts to lag after like an hour of being on. I think it like overheats slightly. There we are. I'm back. So the person that's just donated there, Luke, is my brother-in-law. So one that very bravely beat bone cancer. He's just donated and said, Haley, Luke, and the girls are watching you. Thank you so much for the support, everyone. Erin doesn't, so Erin's my niece, so she's only about 1, doesn't understand why you won't say hello to her, Ross. So hello, Erin, hello, Maya, which are my 2 nieces. Thank you for watching. That's very cute. I love them so much. So they're the family that I'm supporting today and also the charity that we're supporting. So lovely to see you watching, guys. Sorry about that. Little digression there. There are 865 people. We've only reached 1,000 people live watching a stream once. So if you're watching this, please share it on Twitter, share it on Instagram, share it with your friends and family. If we can hit 1,000 people watching, that would be absolutely ridiculous. We're on 870 at the moment. If you're watching today, please do drop a like on the video. Please do subscribe. Isn't Lacazette ill? Right. So it's a bit of an assumption, but I don't personally think Lacazette's necessarily ill unless it's COVID, because what Arteta said is there are personal reasons which I can't really discuss, and then it came out that he's actually ill. I would predict that there's something going on that he just doesn't want to discuss, and illness is a good thing to say as just sort of a no further questions, but it might be that he's got COVID because obviously they've got medical confidentiality. It could be anything, to be honest. I don't think Lacazette's personally going to play, at least the Southampton game, but by all means keep him and see what happens. We need to start a fund to get Ross a new camera. My camera is really expensive. My camera's a good camera. It just doesn't want to work with OBS. Fofana or Rudiger? Fofana for me. Bench boost 33. Yeah, I really like bench boost 33. Cancelo, Gabriel, or Carl Walker-Peters? I assume that's for a free hit. I'm going for KWP. I think he's a nice option this week. Bring in share only or bring in Maddison for a -4. I'd just go share. Already had Barnes. Yeah. I'd just go share. But if Maddison starts both, he's going to pop off this way. Like Maddison is in really good form, looking good. It's just up to you which way you want to go. I'm just going to drop a little poll quick. I just want to know what you guys want me to do, basically. So if you're in the chat, answer this poll, please. What would you like me to do? We can basically do a bit of a stats deep dive. Look at player stats on the Scout. Just answer questions. Right, I've just dropped a poll in the chat. If you're watching this, if you're one of the 900 people watching this, please let me know what you'd like me to do. I don't want to do something for the 900 of you that you don't want me to do. So we can either jump onto Fantasy Football Scout and do some player comparisons. So we can look at Barnes versus Maddison. We can look at Fernandes versus Ronaldo. We can look at all of that sort of stuff, or I can just sit here and answer your questions. I can obviously do both, but if I'm on Scout looking at player underlying statistics, I'm not going to be able to give your questions my full attention. So do vote on the it's 50-50, great. Do vote on the poll to let me know what you'd prefer me to do with the time. Hey Ross, good morning. Good morning, Yash. Good to see you, my man. Good to see a lot of members in the chat today. I massively appreciate you being here. Talk about captaincy for folks without Manchester United assets. My favourite captaincy option, if you don't own a Manchester United asset, is probably one of Che Adams and Chris Wood. That's why I've got them both in my team outside of those. I do think that if you're going to go for a single game week player, I would be on either Son or Salah, personally. I just think they look really good. Although with Kane, I guess you get penalties. I just think Salah's going to destroy Manchester United, if I'm being honest. Why Sancho and KWP? Just fancy them as an option. If I don't go for Sancho and KWP, I might still change my team. It would probably be Tellez and Cornet. I'll run a poll, I guess, at some point to decide what you prefer there. Good morning, Ross. Good morning, Angelina. Good to see you. Saka or Son captain? Sorry. I would personally go for... I'd probably go for Saka. Just about. I just back the doubler. Whenever you can, back the doubler. Is this your final team then, or could it still change? The only changes I might make is Sancho out for Cornet or Barnes. So I could get a different doubler in Sancho's place and then do Walker Peters to Tellers. That's the only difference that I can see me making. Outside of that, I'm really happy with the team. And I'll show you why I've made some of the picks that I've made in a second. It's about 50-50, that poll, so I'm going to end it. I'm going to do the stats because at least 50-ish% of people want me to look at the stats. I'll keep answering questions at the same time. So I'm going to do my best to try and multitask wherever possible. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch over to Scout. Right, it's not a particularly nice graphic, but this for me is the best sort to look at. What I'm going to do is I'm going to order this by minutes per expected goal involvement. So this one here, right, where I'm hovering right now, this is minutes per expected goal involvement. I'm going to start from that Salah onwards. And what this tells you is how many minutes it takes for this player to accumulate an expected goal involvement. So what you want this number to be is as low as possible. If this number was 20, it means that it would never be that low. If the number was 20, it means they're accumulating an expected goal involvement every 20 minutes. So across a 90-minute match, they'd be getting sort of about 4 point something expected goal involvement, which would be ridiculous. A good number, in my opinion, is roughly about 140, 150. So if a player's sitting at about 140, 150, for this number here, right, this number here, it means they are getting an expected goal involvement every 140, 150 minutes. So I'm just going to run through some different options, and I can select different players and select them as well. So if you want to use the super chat feature to ask me to do a player comparison, I can do so. I'm going to select just a few of my favorite players and look at them. So which players would you like me to compare here? Which players would you like to be chucked into this comparison? I'm going to do a big comparison between some players. So I'm going to put Salah in there. I'm going to put... What doublers do you want me to chuck in? I'm going to go by team, actually. Right, so which doublers do you want me to add? Again, let me know which blitz players you want me to look at in here. I'm just going to answer these two super chats. I saw your tweet about your early wildcard ideas for defenders and midfielders. Tasty. Yes, Stephen, I really like I'm so excited for wildcard 34. There's going to be a wildcard guide, and also I'm going to have a wildcard team selection video next week. Would you play De Gea or Ramsdale? I'd play Ramsdale, just about. Manchester United defence. I do think we've got a clean sheet in us against Norwich, but I just don't trust us that much. So just about Ramsdale, but that is a very close call. I actually think the Fantasy Football Fix algorithm and the FPL review algorithm just about prefer De Gea. So take that as you will. Hi Ross, great work. Would I get away with non-playing bench for my free hit? Yeah, absolutely. With an 11 of Dubravka, Tellez, Target, Cedric, JWP, Saka, Salah, Bruno, Ronaldo, Kane. The only issue you've got with that is if Salah gets injured. Outside of that, they're all doublers. So unless you get a random COVID case, I don't think you need a playing bench there. So I think you're fine. Right, what players do people want me to look at? I'll chuck Martinelli in. I'll chuck Saka in. Cornet and Ward-Prowse are two popular ones. Lookman and Barnes. Right, So I've got Martinelli and Saka. No one from Brighton, Brentford. Burnley, we wanted Cornet. Keep chucking names that you want me here. We'll do a massive comparison. We'll order it by expected goal, minutes per expected goal involvement. Chelsea. I'm going to leave Chelsea for now. Not that I don't think they're good options, but we'll just focus on those next week. I'm mainly looking at double game week players here. Keep dropping names in the chat. Yeah, all of the Manchester United boys will be added in. Leicester, right? Leicester, we want Barnes. We said we want Lookman. We'll chuck Lookman in, and we'll chuck... The issue is with Lookman and players like they haven't played that many minutes, so it's going to be slightly sort of biased. By the way, I'm looking at last 6 matches. When people ask me why are you looking at the last 6 matches, there is no golden number, right? You can look across the entire season. You can look across the last 4. For me, last 6 matches is a good midway house between it's not the entire season, so you're still taking into account recent performances, but it's also not so recent that one massive sort of XG haul will completely sort of skew the data. So for me, I think it's a nice balance. Oh yeah, I can put Tielemans in there as well. Where's Tielemans? Sorry, these names are all like blending together. Tielemans there. Yeah, we've got Salah in there. I mean, we can chuck Jota in as well as a decent sort of other option. Who else did we want here? Keep dropping names in the chat that you want me to add to this comparison. Luis Diaz, I can add him in if you want. I'm not going to put Mane in. Mane's is very similar to Salah, but I think if you're going to go for one, you go for Salah. I don't think you go for the double up. Yeah, can chuck De Bruyne in. De Bruyne is injured, but we'll chuck De Bruyne in. Right, then the Manchester United boys. Bruno, Ronaldo, Elanga, and Sancho. We'll chuck all 4 of those in. Newcastle, Bruno. This is going to be a massive list, by the way, but we'll order it and we'll just float through and we'll have a bit of a chat about all of them, yeah? By the way, if you are enjoying the video today, please do drop a like on the video. The stream, I should say. I'm so used to saying video. If you're enjoying the stream, do drop a like on the stream. Pushes it out to other people. We're so nearly at 1,000 people in watching the stream today, but I don't think we'll quite hit 1,000, unfortunately. Because a lot of the big guns will start streaming very soon, and they steal my viewers. It's very sad. Southampton, Ward-Prowse, Shea Adams. Sorry, we're going to finish this list very soon. I just wanted to add all of the big guns to the list. Kane and Son. Is that it? Is that it? Someone said Mount. I can add Mount in before we look at this list. Yeah, let's add Mount in. Sorry, I know this isn't a particularly pleasant screen to look at. If anyone from Fantasy Football Scouts watching, by the way, I love your members area. This is the paid version, right? But it's not very pleasant to look at in comparison to other sites. Right, so let's do only show selected players, and we're going to order these by minutes per expected goal involvement. So this is over the last 6 games. Again, this here is what you want to look at, right? So this number here is minutes per expected goal involvement. This is the one that I like. You've also got in this column here, expected goal involvement, if you want to look at that. Minutes per expected goal involvement takes into account the amount of minutes they've played, and it's how long they take to accumulate an expected goal involvement. Like I said, players such as Ademola Lookman, just be careful that they haven't played that many minutes recently, so it does skew the data slightly. So this is basically, in my opinion, if you're looking at underlying statistics over the last 6, this is in order of how good they've been. So we're going to go through each of them, and you can basically, we can discuss each of them and if I think they're good options for the upcoming week, right? So let's discuss it. Salah, to start with, is an absolute monster. That being said, this does take into account, I'm pretty sure, 2 penalties that he's had. I think it's 2, might even be 3, right? Yeah, I've added all of the players that you've listed. I haven't added Weghorst, actually. Right, screw it. I don't know if it takes out all of my... I'm not going to add Weghorst in. Weghorst underlying data is pretty poor. Wood is added in, though. So we've got Salah is at a beast, right? 67.6, as you can see by this list, is by far and away the best on this list. For me, when I looked at this, I was like, I've got to have Salah. Even so, people have been... The narrative is that Salah's useless. Salah's out of form. Salah's not going to score for the remainder of the season. He's performing much better than Kane and Son, according to underlying statistics at least. So for me, I'll be going for Salah. What is worth noting, you can't see this on your screen, Kane's XG non-penalty is actually much higher than Salah's. So without the 2 penalties, it's not this good. So you do need to take into account that this is skewed by the 2 penalties. But regardless of penalties or not, that's a ridiculous number. So for me, Salah is a no-brainer for me on my free hit at least. We just got a super chat from Derek quickly. Which 2 would you bench from Salah, Trent, James, Van Dijk, Willock, Cornet, Kane, and Lamptey? I would bench Lamptey, and I would bench Van Dijk. Out of those 2, Derek, Van Dijk, and Lamptey would be on my bench. ASM has been added. Yep, ASM's added. Don't worry. I've added all of the players that you've added. They're just not... They're a lot lower on this list. Then you've got essentially what I would call sort of 4 big guns here, right? You've got Kane, Jota, Fernandes, Son, and Ronaldo, all putting up very good underlying data. Of course, Jota, Kane, and Son, right, these guys all have single game weeks. So again, if you want justification for why I'm choosing Manchester United players, their data is very good. Over the last 6 matches, when apparently Manchester United are terrible and Son and Kane are fantastic, and you don't want to pick Manchester United players, you've got here Ronaldo at 120 minutes per XGI on the dot, Bruno at 114. That is fairly comparable to Kane and Son. So what you can actually see here is Kane's is slightly better than Son's. So if you want one based on the data, I actually... There's a poll on Twitter asking if Nanoraptor is real or just you. Nanoraptor is real. There's such a weird thing for me to make up that Nanoraptor is not real. Nanoraptor is 100% real. Nanoraptor makes her own decisions. There is such a weird thing for me to decide that I want to make up a Nan and to make up that my Nan plays FPL. There's no added advantage for me making up Nanoraptor. So I'm not going to go over to Twitter now and comment on that. But if you can comment on it, that Nanoraptor is 100% real. So you've got Jota, Bruno, Son, and Ronaldo. So I'm not going to keep banging on about this. We are 5 viewers away from 1,000, by the way. Keep going up. Ronaldo and Bruno are fantastic options. I would 100% include them on your free hit for that reason. They've got an extra fixture. They play Norwich at home. There's absolutely no reason not to have these guys in your team, right? So for me, they're worth having. What I would say is, yes, Kane and Son are fantastic. And the other thing I would say is, if Jota's fit and he's playing against Manchester United, he might be a good differential in comparison to Salah, if you can't quite afford Salah. By the way, we just hit 1,000 concurrent viewers, so thank you so much if you're one of the 1,000 people watching this. It won't be this dry moving forward, by the way. Right, we're going to move on. So let's get rid of those. So those are the top guys, right? So let's now switch forward. Hello, lad. No offense, but you have a beautiful no offense, but you have a beautiful bald head. Thank you. Why would I take offense? You just told me I have a beautiful bald head. I do appreciate that. It's very like reminiscent of an egg, isn't it? Right. Now, if you're wondering why I currently have Che Adams in my team, this is the reason I have Che Adams in my team. You've got all of these big guns here over the last 6 weeks, right? All of these big guns. You've then got Adams ahead of De Bruyne for minutes per expected goal involvement. Now, yes, Adams is a bit of a troll, doesn't always finish all of his chances. But for me, minutes per XG, I have 153 for Adams, playing Arsenal, who aren't looking great defensively, and also Burnley. I personally think that Adams is worthwhile there. Right, so I've got Adams for that reason. Adams is going to be included on my free hit. You've then got De Bruyne, who's very close, right? I think De Bruyne is fine, but I personally think that just due to his injury, due to the fact they've got the FA Cup semi-final before the league game, I'm personally going to be going without De Bruyne. But I do think he's a great option. And I think moving forward, he's a great option as well. You've then got, moving on, Martinelli has a really good underlying statistics, right? The issue you've got with Martinelli is that he's less likely to start, in my opinion, than Saka. And Saka's underlying data, you can see here, 176. Actually, Saka's not that much worse than Martinelli. So I think when you take into account minutes, I actually don't mind Saka over Martinelli. But if you want a cheaper option, or you want to double up with Saka, Martinelli's class, right? So Martinelli's a very, very decent option. I wouldn't mind Martinelli on the free hit. Mount is really good as well. Again, I'm not going to look at wildcards particularly on this stream, but Mount is in my wildcard. So I'm wildcarding in Game Week 34. Mount's going to be on my wildcard as well. I'm going to do 2 wildcard videos next week. So do subscribe if you want more wildcard content. But Mount's going to be on my wildcard for that reason. Diaz is absolutely fine, right? If you think Diaz is going to start, I do think he's a decent option. But when you look at all of these double Game Week options, Adams, Martinelli, Saka, Bruno, Ronaldo, I'm not sure I'd be looking at Diaz particularly. I'd actually prefer Jota, right? If we scroll back up, if Jota's going to start, Jota's the one for me, right, rather than Diaz. So Diaz is fine. You then start to drift down, and these numbers are still decent, right? So Lookman's actually got very decent data, and I do think Lookman will start one of the two. The issue is that I can't see Ademola Lookman starting both games. So for me, Lookman's not bad, but he's probably not likely to start both. Alanga, very decent. Most people are predicting Rashford to start against Norwich. I personally think that Alanga starts Norwich and Rashford starts against Liverpool. I don't know that for certain, but for me, I would predict Alanga starting Norwich. So I think you could do worse than £4.8 million Alanga, right? So Alanga for me is the one to go for, to be honest. I think Alanga's fine. I even looked at Alanga over Sancho, but the thing is, I think Sancho starts both, and Sancho's data is very similar-ish to Alanga when they play sort of 90 minutes. You can see that one of the main reasons for Alanga's data being so good is that he just doesn't play that many minutes, and you do need to take that into account. This is the other reason I really do want Cornet. And you can see here, these are 3 options that a lot of people are looking at, right? Cornet, Barnes, and Maddison, all grouped very tightly together. Cornet's actually got slightly better underlying data than the 3 of them over the last 6. But again, this is the narrative. When people say that James Maddison is massively in form, you need to pick James Maddison as a result. I'm not so confident that's the case, especially when you take into account that I think Barnes is slightly more likely to play the 2. Barnes is actually slightly better underlying statistics than Maddison over the last 6. So I don't mind Cornet or Barnes over Maddison, but I equally don't mind Maddison as well. And Maddison does look very confident, but these 3 here are actually extremely close. So I don't mind picking any of them. It's completely up to you which way you want to go with it. For me, I actually prefer Cornet and Barnes at the moment. Stop twerking for Cornet. He's bad. I'm not twerking for Cornet. I think Cornet's fine. Like the data suggests he's a fine option. FPL mates captaining Cornet. because of the 10,000 like thing. So if you want to back someone that's doing very well this year, I think Cornet's a fine option. He's not currently in my team, but I do really like him as an option this week. You're now starting to move down towards not the greatest underlying data, right? And Sancho is here. Sancho's in my team. He's not got the best data this season for Manchester United, but his historical data for Dortmund's pretty good. And I still do like the double game week. So I still think he's fine. You're then moving down to the absolute shockers here, right? This data's not great. So you've got Ward-Prowse and Bruno G as the midfielders here. Really not fantastic numbers particularly, but Ward-Prowse is on penalties and Bruno G is a decent cheap option at 4.9 million. So I don't mind either of these two. The data is not suggesting that these are the two to go for though, right? So I wouldn't necessarily back the two of them. And then you get down to even worse. You've got Wood and St. Max at really, really poor underlying data. So I think the reason I've gone for Wood is his data is better than St. Maximan over the last 6. And he's also on penalties. Right, so if you're looking at minutes per expected goal involvement, Wood is better than Alan St. Maximan, and he's also on penalties. So that's the reason I've gone for those two. And then outside of that, you've then got Tielemans, who's on 745. Right, and I'm not saying Tielemans isn't capable of scoring, but if you wonder why Tielemans isn't been in any of my drafts, Tielemans is getting expected goal involvement every 745 minutes. So if I scroll back to the top of this list, if I'm pulling out the players that I think are worthwhile, of course, that's why they're in my team. Bruno, Ronaldo, Adams, right? I think Adams is a fine option. Then I think you've got Martinelli and Saka. It's probably worth having one of these Arsenal players in your team. And then I think you've got probably one or two of these options here. You can see they're all grouped really tightly together. I'd probably take Bruno G out, actually. I'd probably stop there. I'd say one of these options here is probably worth having. Maybe two into your team as well. All right, so this is what I'm looking at when I'm doing my data, when I'm looking at underlying statistics. It might be that you don't trust underlying statistics and you want to trust form and your gut feeling. That's absolutely fine as well. There are so many different ways to play this game. But for me, that's the way I've been looking at it when I'm making my team. Right, I won't do stats any longer then, unless there are more stats you want me to look at, because I know it can be a little bit tedious for those people that don't really like stats that much. Hopefully that was helpful for you guys. That was Fantasy Football Scout. That was the members area. I'm not affiliated with Scout at all. I'm actually affiliated with Fix, but I do like that element of Scout, looking at minutes per expected goal involvement. I think it's very useful. Thank you for being here, by the way, today. We're sitting at comfortably above 1,000 live viewers, which is amazing. I am just going to take this moment to just plug the charity once more. It is a charity, so you can't complain too much. My sister is walking 300,000 steps in April for Bone Cancer Research Trust, which is about 10,000 steps a day. She's doing very, very well as well. You might say 10,000 is easy. Considering she has to stay at home and look after the kids, 10,000 is actually pretty tough, and she's doing very well to meet that. It's because my brother-in-law, and he's actually my main mini-league rival, he bravely beat bone cancer in 2011. So if you would like to donate directly, the link is in the description. So the second link after the Spitch link is to Bone Cancer Research, her sort of fundraiser pot, so you can donate directly. Outside of that, if you buy a super chat today, all of that money will go to Bone Cancer Research UK, and if you become a member as well, that membership for this month will be donated to Bone Cancer Research UK. So yes, please buy a membership, buy a super chat, or donate directly to the link. I massively appreciate the support. Right, let me get back to more questions. Stats of Foden. I'm not going to do too many more stats for now. I might go back to it a little bit later. I just think that it's just a bit boring for some people, just constantly going through stats. Che Adams as a captain. I think there are definitely worse captains than Che Adams. I really like Che Adams as an option. I'm not necessarily saying he's the best captaincy shout, but I think you could definitely do worse. Here's a stat for you. Martinelli starts striker and scores a hat-trick. I think Nketiah will start striker, but I could definitely see it. I think if Nketiah doesn't start as the striker, Martinelli's the most likely for sure. St. Maximan captain for me this week. Decided to have some fun from now until the end of the season. I don't mind that at all. Like I said, I think Wood's underlying data is slightly better than St. Maximan's, but you could definitely do worse than St. Max as a captain. I do think he's playing at home against two tied defences, so again, you can definitely do worse than that. Maddison is arguably a better finisher than Barnes. This is something, again, the statistics will not take into account. Maddison is probably a better finisher than Barnes, I should say. Has the transfer deadline been brought forward to 10:45 GMT today? I don't think so. Has it? No? It's still 11. Deadline's still 11. Do you think it's worth a -4 to gamble to bring in Adams for Broja? No confidence in Broja. No, I'd probably keep Broja, to be honest. I'd probably keep Broja. Liam says, hi Ross, the best Lacazette replacement not on free hit. Depends what your other chips are, Liam. I think Adams is fine. I think Wood is fine if you're looking a little bit shorter term. I think if you're looking at a little bit longer term, I actually think Pookie and Tony are two decent options. Pookie obviously doubles in 36 as well. And then I know people will laugh at this. I think Werner could be a very, very cheeky shout, especially if Chelsea double next week and he keeps his place. It really does depend on what other chips you've got available, though. So someone's just sent me their team. Dubravka, Ramsdale, Cancelo, Trent, Shah, Rudiger, Cher, Rudiger, Tellez, Saka, Salah, Kulusevski, Madison, Willock, Adams, Broja, Kane. One free transfer, playing the bench boost, share captain, not triple captain. Yeah, I would probably bench boost that. Maybe Willock, with your one free transfer? Because it doesn't look like he's going to play. Isn't Willock injured? Or is he potentially... I'm not confident that Willock would play that. So maybe Willock out for Martinelli might be a decent option or something along those lines. I think would probably be what I'd do. Brendan with the super chat, target or share. Probably just about share, but target's a fantastic option as well. Earlier on in the week, I just about preferred target, but I've got both of them because I couldn't make that call. Target takes corners and he's got pretty good creativity. Share, of course, has really good goal threat and he takes some free kicks and he's cheaper. So that's a really difficult decision for me. Joshua with the big donation, but you've retracted your message. So feel free to resend your message, Joshua. You don't have to donate again. I'll try and look out for your message, but you might have to. I'm sorry. But thank you for the donation. Well done to your assist. Thank you very much. I'm very proud of her. And I know she'll be happy with all of the money that will be going to Bone Cancer Research Trust today. Like I said, I'll post a screenshot over on Twitter once I've donated the money, just to let you guys know. If you want an update of where we're at on the stream, we're at £197. Right, so that's without I don't know if you guys have been donating directly. I could actually probably check, to be honest, if you've been donating directly. Let's do that and bang. Yeah, so I don't think there's been that many direct donations. So I think we're sitting probably at about, a realistic estimation is about £200 going towards bone cancer research. Sorry, lost where I was. Play Matip or Rudiger. I would play Rudiger. Iheanacho or Saka captain. I'd go Saka. I don't think Iheanacho will start both. Daka looked really good when he came on. Saka or Martinelli on a free hit. I'm just about going for Saka, but I think Martinelli's a fine option. If I don't have enough money to bring in Adams, is Broja a good pick? He's nowhere near as good as Adams for underlying data, but he is a good option. I would probably look elsewhere, maybe like a Martinelli in midfield and go to a 3-5-2. On the free hit, Saka and Laporte or Cancelo and Martinelli. Oh, that is a tricky one. I'd probably... I think the upside's there with Cancelo and Martinelli, to be honest. Although Laporte is a goal threat and Saka's slightly more nailed for minutes. That's a really difficult one, Michael. I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to answer that very well. Looks scary without Son. Yeah, it does. Listen, Son and Kane, if you had to ask me, yes, Son and Kane will return. I think it's quite feasible that Son and Kane both get an attacking return each. Potentially one of them gets two. If you actually look at what that would look like on paper, say Kane gets a brace and say Son gets an assist or a goal, you're looking at between them 20 points. Now, that isn't great, but that's the first game of the game week. I'm going to be 20 points behind the average. After that, I've got no big other major rank threats. And I do personally think that Adams and Wood can match Kane. And I do think Sancho can match Son with 2 fixtures. That might be crazy. I think you've got to take that risk on a free hit. I think if I free hit with Cancelo, Son, Kane, Salah, Trent, it's just not really worth the free hit. I might as well have just played with the team I already had. Because I already had Kulusevski, I already had Kane. I could have already got Trent, Cancelo. It's just, for me, it's not worth it for me, personally. Kevin says, why Bruno captain over Ronaldo? I'm slightly worried about Ronaldo's minutes. Not enough to not include him. And I could still captain Ronaldo. I just think Ronaldo is a really good differential. Ronaldo's got no one's going to own Ronaldo unless they're on a free hit. Ronaldo's ownership last week in the top 100k was about 0.5%. No one's going to own Ronaldo. So I think Ronaldo's fine just to own. I think he'll boost my rank if he hauls. Fernando's going to be owned by a lot of people. And also, I just think he's more nailed on for minutes. And obviously, he gets the extra point for a clean sheet, extra point for a goal. So that's the personal reason there, Kevin. Lunny22 says, great effort supporting a great charity. Thank you very much. You've just taken us above £200 with that donation, so thank you. Has Roberts lost his place, and is it worth taking a hit to bring in James 1 week early? Yes, Roberts looks like he's lost his place. However, Deitch has been sacked, so it might be that Ben Mee and the new Burnley management team decide that Lowton's going to lose his place against and Robert goes straight back in. We don't know. But under Deitch, yes, Roberts lost his place. Is it worth taking a hit to bring in James 1 week early if you're bench boosting this week? I think you could potentially, there's probably upside there to go for a double game week and then switch to James next week. But if you just want to go straight for James, I think that's fine. I think a bench boost with James is slightly risky, personally. Just because they've got the FA Cup semi-final. He might be rotated against Arsenal if he starts in that. I'd be slightly worried bench boosting with James, but I don't think it's a bad option. Hi, Ross. Which two should I start? Lacazette, Kulusevski, Reece James, or Laporte? Just worry about the rotation. I would actually start Kulusevski and Reece James. I just worry about Lacazette. I don't think he's going to start both. But I guess you could start him and just hope that he starts both. But I think there's a chance he's back for the Chelsea fixture and on the bench or not available for the Southampton one. I don't know, to be honest. Laura with the super chat. Thank you very much, Laura. She says, on free hit, play 3-4-3 with Wood or 3-5-2 with Cornet. I just about prefer Wood. As you can see, I've got Cornet. To answer your question, look at my team. I've got Cornet first sub and Wood starting. I don't think that that's necessarily perfect move, but for me, just Wood being on penalties and safer for minutes than Cornet just about makes me lean towards Wood. I really need a wee, but I can't go really, can I? When there's 1,000 people watching me. Obviously, I wouldn't go here. You know, I'd go to the toilet. Captain Kane, Saka, or Maddison. I guess I'd go Maddison, to be honest, even though I don't think he's going to start both. I think he's probably the slightly better pick there. Why Target over Burn? Target takes corners and his underlying data is slightly better. We can have a look actually at we can actually have a look at trying to do a comparison between defenders from an attacking perspective. Should we do that? I guess we could have a look at that. Let me just do that 2 seconds. We'll take a look at some of the underlying attacking data. Obviously, you need... Okay. Hello? The Scout website just freaked out on me. 2 seconds. Let me go back to answering some questions whilst that tries to work itself out. Hi, Ross. Did you take a chance to look at heat maps of Brighton in order to figure out who is more likely to score against them, Kane or Son? Where do they concede most of their chances from? They concede most of their chances centrally, but I know Baker343 over on Twitter, he did some analysis of the Brighton game. He thinks that Son is more likely to haul than Kane. So I think you've got multiple players there that might haul. I think that I would prefer Son at the moment, but that maybe the fixture slightly suits Kane. So yeah, you have to wait and see there. I don't know why the website's just freaking out all of a sudden. Let's try again. Okay, right, that's not going to work. Fantasy Football Scout, fixture website. Reeve says, I've gone triple giants in Share, Burn, and Wood personally and hoping for a Thunder Bastard across the three of them. I really like that. Yeah, I don't mind Burn at all. I just think the fact that Target's got some creativity from open play and the fact that he takes corners anyway, if Burn does score a Thunder Bastard, there's a good chance Target crosses it. And outside of that, Target's got a little bit more open play threat. He's actually been getting into some good positions. So I just about prefer Target, Share, and Wood as my Newcastle triple up. Tellez or Laporte for the next 2 game weeks. That's a tough. Probably Tellez. You get 4 fixtures. You've got to go for it. Ross, is it time to... Sorry. Excuse me. Ross, is it time some Arsenal players on... Left some Arsenal... Oh, God, I can't read the sentence. Sorry. Ross, is it time left some Arsenal players on the wildcard next game week? I've actually only got 1 on my wildcard. Actually, my latest wildcard... Excuse me. My latest wildcard doesn't have any Arsenal players. So yeah, I wouldn't be going heavy Arsenal on the wild card. I think Chelsea, City, Tottenham, Liverpool are probably the teams I would be targeting on a wild card. Who do you captain, Fernandes or Maddison? I've obviously captained Fernandes here, so that's my personal opinion on it. Right. Sorry. Kane, Barnes or Son? Kane, Barnes or Son and Adams? I prefer Son and Adams. What's with the sudden interest in Newcastle? Game 35, 36, and 37 look horrible. This is a free hit. As you can see on your screen, free hit active. I wouldn't be loading up on Newcastle players if you weren't on your free hit. I don't think 1 or 2 is any too bad. The great thing about Newcastle, if you do bring them in, right, is that they've got Norwich in game week 34, and then you can potentially bench them in 35 and then take them out in 36. So there's not bad 3 fixtures, but I'm on my free hit. So David with Super Chat, massively appreciate that, mate. Thank you very much. Says, considering Bruno for Salah for a -8, likely 4 games versus 2, including a good Norwich tie. Please help me out of it. I don't mind Bruno for Salah. I prefer, like, Ronaldo for Kane. I just think Salah's going to do quite well this week, but I don't mind it. I know a lot of top managers have actually taken out Salah for Bruno, so I don't think it's necessarily a terrible decision. Like I said, I'm not a humongous fan of it, though. Would you start James Kulusevski over Broja? No. Kane's out with COVID. Check the news. I don't believe that. I think you're just trying to upset people, aren't you? I think if Kane was out with COVID, the chat would be going absolutely ridiculous. Sucks for the 300 people who left for Andy's stream. It will continue to die down. Like I said, I don't regularly get 1,000 because I stream at the same time as Andy, Focal, and FPL Mate. And those channels have like 100,000 plus subscribers. I'm never going to compete with that. But thank you for those of you that stick around. I do appreciate that. Like I said, if anything does pop up on Twitter or there's any news, because I'm just looking at the chat, if you guys can let me know if there's any major news, any early team news, whatever, and I'll bring it up on the screen and we can chat about it. Got Peter in the chat. So that guy, FPL team /Peter, he's the guy that makes the FPL team site. So there we go. If you ever use FPL.team, there's the man behind it. He says, hey, buddy, either Ramsdale to Dubravka or Charlie Taylor to Shah worth a -4. Just leave it. I don't like either of those, mate. No. I think Ramsdale and Taylor both double. They could both keep clean sheets. I'm not sure I'd be moving for either of those. I mean, I do like Newcastle defence, but for me, it's not worth moving for either of those, personally. I like that you've tried insulting me there, but you just come across absolutely terribly, AK. I'll read it out just so that people know. Andy owns you and your channel, apparently. There we go. Andy owns me and my channel. I don't think Andy owns me or my channel, but thank you for the kind words. Hannah just donates £4.49. I don't know if you meant to put a message in there, Hannah, but I massively appreciate the £5 donation to charity. If you did mean to put a message, just try and drop it somewhere a bit later, and I'll try and pick that message up. DJ Hammer says, Peter is such a G for creating FPL team. He really is. And by the way, if you ever have any things you want to improve for FPL.team, then just let me know and I'll force him to do it. No, joking. He's very nice. He'll do it for as quickly as possible for free. He's absolutely great like that. So if you have any improvements, just DM him on Twitter or let me know and I can DM him on Twitter. Captain share is too punty. I don't think it's too punty. I think there are sometimes... personally, in my opinion, that I think there are slightly better options personally, but I don't think it's a terrible decision. Thoughts on Foden? High XGI, 2 goals in 10 of late. Yeah, I don't mind Foden. I don't mind him at all. I think if you're going to go for a single game week player, it's got to probably be Son, Kane, and Salah. Outside of that, I'd probably just go for a double game week. If you're asking about long term, James, I've actually got Foden in my latest wildcard draft, so I actually really like him. 80% think Nanoraptor is you, Steve says. What? Who put the poll out? I'll go have a look at it on Twitter. Steve, let me know who put that poll out. Thoughts on Kane captain? I don't own Son, Maddison, Adams, or Newcastle asset. Yeah, I don't mind Kane captain at all. Man City versus Liverpool score predictions. I'd say similar to what we saw in the Premier League, but maybe a little bit more cagey. I'd say maybe like 1-1 or 2-1, if I had to guess. Ross locks me into his bedroom to improve the site. That's true, and you better get back to work. I don't. Please don't demonetize me. Does FPL team not reset your free hit team on the next game week? Doesn't for me. If you click free hit, it should reset your team. So on the FPL team site, let me switch to it. Has that worked? Yeah. Let me drag this over. If you drop down, you can select free hit. That should reset it the next week. Peter, let us know in the chat, but I think that should work now. I think he's sorted that. So you can select what you're doing that week, and that should improve it, essentially. Right. Yeah. Give that a go. Hopefully that should work for you. Hey, used 8 points to create a bench boost, a good bench boost team. Got 1 free hit left. Is it better to use free hit this week? Bench boost week. Great channel, pal. Yeah, I actually really do like bench boost this week, Jay, but it really does depend on what. I don't think you should force it. Like my team, I was no way I was getting to a bench boost. So whilst I do like bench boost 33, I didn't want to force it. I could have taken a -12 to get a bench boost team out, but for me, that sort of that negates the purpose of a free hit. So for a bench boost, I should say, apologies. So if your team's already looking pretty good and that 8 points will make the bench boost brilliant, then yeah, but I wouldn't force a bench boost for a hit for it to be, yeah. Hopefully that answers your question. That wasn't a very good answer. I apologize. But I don't mind a bench boost 33, essentially. How do you get home and away kits? Yeah, I can drop that in the chat again. It's essentially... It's from a guy called Fancy Football Trout over on Twitter who created a Chrome extension. Obviously, download at your own risk, etc. I don't mind Chrome extensions, particularly when they're made by people that I trust. But I'm not going to... I should probably drop that as a warning in there. Let me drop that there. Right, the link that I've just dropped is for that. You're a top tips man. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Start James Rudiger or KDH. I would start KDH. Got to start the doubler, in my opinion. Hi, Ross. Loving the sheepskin. Thank you very much. Sancho and Cancelo or Son and Tellez. Great question. I would personally be... That's a really good one. I'd go Sancho and Cancelo just, but I don't know, actually. That's really... I'm really sorry, Paul. That's a really tough one. I've gone for Sancho, so I'd probably lean towards Sancho and Cancelo. Cool. If you are watching the stream today and you are enjoying, please do drop a like. I'm just going to quickly switch back to this and just let the people that have just joined know that we are doing this stream in association with Bone Cancer Research Trust. So any and all super chats, any and all memberships will go directly to Bone Cancer Research Trust. So if you would like to support the channel in some way, you can do that. Like I said, none of the money goes towards me, right? So I'm not taking a penny. It's all going to go towards Bone Cancer Research Trust. And it's for my sister who's doing that because my brother-in-law did bravely beat bone cancer in 2011. So if you'd like to support a really worthwhile charity, you can either buy a super chat or buy a membership. All right. So that is there as an option. No one owns you unless it's kindness and humbleness, Raptor. I massively appreciate that. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Thank you for that. Thank you for the donation, Niels. Got much planned for the weekend? Not particularly, no. I need to get on with a bit of PhD work, so let it slip a little bit this week for the free hit tinkering. So I do a little bit of PhD work. Going to hit the gym this evening. We've got a cheeky chest session today, which would be fun. Max says, thank you for the brilliant content. We're with you till the end. You have truly helped me both FPL and everyday life via psychology. Keep up the great work, Ross. Thank you so much, Max. That's actually a really nice thing to say. Darshil says, activated the free hit. Love the variations. Good man. Good man. Good man. Drop it in the I'm sure you have already, but drop it in the Rap Tier private Discord channel, and I'm sure they'll help you out there. I'm sorry to have to do this, but I do need a wee. So I'm going to be gone for like 30 seconds. You can look at my wonderful Batman chat and chat amongst yourselves. Please don't leave the stream because I'm going to be back in 30 seconds. But yeah, be 2 seconds, all right? Thank you very much. Hello, I'm back. Yes, I washed my hands. That's why it took a while. Please, this happened last time. Please put the poll. Is he going to wash his hand after he plays? I'll be honest. It was more of a 10-second wash than the usual, but I did wash my hands. I'm clean anyway. That's fine. What are you 12? Was that to me or was that to someone else, Gareth? I'm not 12. I'm 25. There's nothing like going for a wee whilst 500 people are waiting for you. So thank you. Did I miss anything? Oh, got a super chat from Jukebox. Well, man, Cornet or Adams? Like, as you can see, I prefer Adams just about. I still think Cornet's a fantastic option, though, right? So it's not that I don't think Cornet's a good option. You can see his first bench for me. I just really do fancy Adams this week. When you look at his underlying data, very, very strong. So there you go. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. James with the donation as well. Everyone coming in hot with the super chats. Thank you. Here's a donation, mate. Thank you very much, James Carney. In layman's terms, why did you choose to free hit this week as opposed to later game weeks? I have a free hit left and I'm struggling to decide. So the short of it is that I've still got my wild card left. So as you can see, I'm planning to wild card 34. If you're wild carding 34, you can cover 36 and 37 without a free hit, right? So I don't think 35 is a great week to free hit. I'm wildcarding 34. I want to bench boost in either 36 or 37, probably 36. So realistically, the only 2 weeks I have left are game week 37 and game week 38. When I look at those 2 weeks, 38 for me could be a fun free hit, but we don't know who's going to still have stuff to play for. If Liverpool and City have finished their title challenge on each other, they'll probably rotate slightly, especially if they've gone further in the Champions League. And then free hit 37, now that Chelsea are unlikely to double in 37. City are unlikely to double in 37. I just don't see another week, which for me, it makes sense. So, yeah, there we go. That's my reason personally for free hitting in 33. Hopefully that helps to answer your question. And thank you for the donation. Gareth Simmons says, on a free hit, is it worth having Cancelo or a double game week defender? I'm trying to think the way to answer this without being completely, but I personally prefer the upside of going for double game week defenders. As you can see, I've got Cher, Walker-Peters, and Target. I could downgrade Cornet, downgrade Sancho, and I could get Cancelo in. I think there's a very good chance that Cancelo picks up 6 to 9 points. I think a clean sheet is very likely against Brighton, and he's obviously good for bonus. Attacking returns are unlikely but possible. So I think you're probably, if I had to guess, I'd say 8 points is what Cancelo will get. If you think that a defender's going to play twice and not concede too many goals, they've probably got a floor of 3 or 4 points. So you're probably looking at an extra 5 points, Cancelo, if he gets clean sheet and bonus, as sort of as the probably worst case. Of course, Cancelo can haul, but for me, I think it's worth chasing the upside. Gareth is the best way for me to try and explain that. Cool. Cool. Got another super chat from Daniel. Massive £10 donation. Thank you very much, Daniel. Bench boosting this week and have Sanchez as bench goalkeeper. Is it worth using my second free transfer to swap to Dubravka or just keep Sanchez and have 2 free transfers next week? Great content and calls to support. Well, thank you very much for the donation, Daniel. I think I'd probably just play Sanchez and have 2 free hits for next week. I think Sanchez is going to make a lot of saves at the very least. And I think a clean sheet against one of the 2 is possible. I don't know that I'd be comfortable enough making that move personally when 2 free transfers next week could be absolutely massive. It's a great question though, Daniel. If you tell me you're moving Sanchez to Dubravka, I wouldn't mind it. As you can see, I've got no Manchester City and no Tottenham. So I actually think Brighton will do okay defensively this week. I'd play Sanchez. I'd just play Sanchez personally. Similar question, Polkit says, play Sanchez or Foster. Yes, Sanchez has a double, but that could be double negative points. Or just swap Sanchez to Dubravka for it. So it's exactly the same question from Polkit there. I'd play Sanchez. It's definitely not worth a hit for me. Hi, Ross. Best of luck with your free hit. Whom to bench out of Cher, Robertson and Kulusevski? I'd bench Robertson there, personally. I think Manchester United could score. I don't think we'll score a lot, but I think we could score. Sanchez and Ronaldo or Schmeichel and Kane? Sanchez and Ronaldo, probably. Can you not? You might be able to get Forster and Ronaldo. Potentially is another option, the Southampton keeper. Saka or Martinelli? I've gone for Saka, but I think they're both good options. Rory HD with a donation. Thank you very much. Says start either Ben White or Weghorst. I would start... that's a tricky one. I'd probably start Weghorst and just hope that the new management team gets something out of him. 25. Damn, you look older. Don't take this in a bad way. It's fine. Some people mean it in a bad way. Some people don't. I know. I probably look, 30? Yeah, I'm only 25 years. I only just turned 25 as well. I was 24 2 weeks ago. Do you think Fernandes could play more defensively with Pogba starting? With Pogba starting, so the starting formation, just so you're aware, Pogba starts in the pivot and Pogba defends in the pivot. So we play basically 2 number 6s. It'll be Matic and Pogba in the pivot. When we're in attack, sometimes Fernandes will drop a little bit deeper and Pogba will join and they play as 2 8s. So it might be that we see a slightly more defensive Fernandes, but it's not a massive amount. Pogba is still playing in the Fred/McTominay role. Would you switch Sancho and Maddison to Son and Cornet on the free hit? No. I think I prefer Sancho and Maddison. Aaron, using his highlighted message, says, with United injuries, do you not expect Bruno to play a more defensive role? And okay, so I've just answered that question, kind of. No, is the answer. We always worry about this with Fernandes. Fernandes is Fernandes. He'll get into attacking positions. He'll make late runs. Like I said, when we're on the ball and creating chances, he might drop a little bit deeper, but he's so good with his passing. Obviously, he does misplace a lot of passes, but his incisive passing is so good. I still think that Fernandes can do well. I do think that if I was confident Ronaldo was starting both, I'd probably captain Ronaldo. And to be honest, there's 40 minutes left. I could be persuaded to switch the armband. But for now, I'm fairly happy with Fernandes. Didn't you play with Walker Peters? Any insider info? I did play with Walker Peters, but I haven't spoke to him in about 8 years. So, no, there's no insider info coming from me there. By the way, just a little update if you're wondering. We've raised £256 for charity, which is absolutely amazing for Bone Cancer Research UK. So if you for Bone Cancer Research Trust, I should say. So if you do want to continue donating, buy a membership, buy a super chat. Massively appreciate any of that. But yeah, already £250 is a success for me. So I do appreciate that. I love these charity streams. I think we'll try and do more charity streams in the future. I'd rather give your money to a charity than take it myself, to be honest. So. Yeah, we'll definitely do that a little bit more. Do you not fancy Barnes over Saka? I do, to be honest. Just Saka's underlying data is still very strong. I'm not going to lie. There's a chance I bring in Cornet or Barnes for Saka. I think, for example, I think for now, I'm going to go for Saka, though. But yeah, like I said, I've said it a couple of times in the stream, the 2 players that I desperately want in my starting 11, which I can't quite get, are Barnes and Cornet. And I'm trying to work out how on earth I'm going to get them in there. FPL Rengoku has arrived. Good to see you, my man. Thank you for being here. Why are you going strong on the bench? Why not? I've got money in the bank. It's a free hit. Like I've not gone strong on the bench. Basically, I built my 11 and then I chose the bench. All right, so I've not gone strong on the bench because I think you need a strong bench. Like I've gone strong on the bench because I'm happy with the 11 and I had funds in the bank. And if I've got money in the bank, there's no point putting a crap bench out. Like I might as well, just in case. There's no way I'm going to need any of the bench realistically, unless Salah gets injured. I might need Cornet, but I don't think so. The other option that I've got is I could potentially switch Bednarek down. I could put Barnes as first sub, which I might end up doing. But yeah, other than that, I think I'm happy personally. Why Adams over Cornet? Adams just has much better data. Saka, Bruno, Salah, then 2 Leicester midfielders like Maddison and Barnes. Is that a good alternative? Yeah, I actually had a draft with that exact setup. The issue is Maddison and Barnes are very tricky to try and predict if they're going to start or not, so I just decided to completely bin off the Leicester midfielders. Ryan says, triple United, Ross, really? Just watch. I've released 5 videos this week, and I spent half an hour of this stream justifying why I've gone for 3 Manchester United attackers. If you want justification, go watch any of that content. Yeah. Reason for going Sancho over Son. Sancho over Son is the gut feeling call, having a bit of fun call. Son's underlying data is better than Sancho's. Son could quite easily outscore Sancho. I wanted to have a bit of fun with it and go for the slightly more exciting player with two fixtures. So that's the only reason there. Tellez or Walker-Peters? I actually just about prefer Tellez, but I've already got Sancho, Fernandes, and Ronaldo, so I've gone for Walker-Peters. Why not have Kane and Son or both? Just want to go for the double game week players. I don't outside of. I'd have to drop Sancho. I'd have to drop Salah. I don't want to drop Sancho or Salah to get Son and Kane. So that's why. Barnes or Maddison, who would you choose? I'd go Barnes, but most other people seem to want Maddison, so probably Maddison, I guess. Everyone else is probably correct, and I'm probably wrong. Looked into Mahrez this week with Cornet on the bench for safety. Looks a good shout. The issue is he probably would come off the bench. So if he's benched, he'll probably get some minutes. So I don't mind Mahrez at all. I actually looked at him earlier on in the week as well. I just think that I'd probably rather go with a slightly safer double game week player. How long we got? We've got 34 minutes until the deadline, so we might start getting a little bit of early Spurs team news. But to be honest, we know the Spurs 11. It's going to be Kulusevski, Son, and Kane. I guess we don't know whether it will be Reguilon and Emerson Royale or Reguilon, Sessegnon or Sessegnon and Emerson Royale. So I guess the fullbacks is the only position. But outside of that, I don't think we really care about that early team news. If you could only pick one of Barnes, Cornet, Wood, or Guimaraes, who would you pick? I'd probably go Wood. That's what I've done in my starting 11 anyway. Does Cancelo start this week, and is he in your wildcard 34 team moving forward? I would say yes to both of those things, Gabe. I think he starts, and I think he is definitely in my wildcard team. Why no Leicester attacker in your team? I don't think Maddison will start both, and Barnes has been a little bit shaky. I'm not sure if he starts both either. And so putting all of that together, I personally think I'd rather go for Saka and Sancho in those 2 spots. I don't have an issue with the Leicester midfielders. In fact, I am really strongly considering dropping Bednarek down. I still don't think I'd have enough fun. I'm thinking if there is a way to get Barnes as first sub, I wouldn't mind doing that, but I don't think it really matters, to be honest. Massive, massive super chat from Lunny there. Thank you so much. Hope this helps get you towards 300. We're definitely pushing there at 280 now. Thank you very much for that super chat. Is it worth holding Fraser and hoping he recovers for 100 minutes plus, or taking a hit and swapping for a cheap doubler? KDH means I can double Chelsea defence next week. What was the latest on Fraser? Let me have a look. So I can answer your question as well as possible. I think KDH, considering that it allows you to double Chelsea defence next week, probably makes sense. I would probably do that, Lonnie. I'm not confident that it will recover in time based on what I can see. Outside of that, you could go to Bruno for the 4.9. So you could go to a midfielder from Newcastle again. If you want to stick with the Newcastle midfielders, that's a decent option as well. So I would go to KDH or Bruno probably, and that would allow double Chelsea defence next week. Because even if then Fraser does play, you can think, well, at least one of the advantages was that I can get my double Chelsea defence next week. I feel like I've seen a few times where Mahrez hasn't come off the bench. Yeah, sometimes it happens, but Mahrez is one of the players that is favoured slightly more often off the bench. So out of all of his options, he often tends to bring on Mahrez because he's good for a goal, right? I'm going with share captain. Any thoughts? Don't dislike it at all. Are you activating your wildcard immediately after deadline? Not immediately, but I probably will activate it tonight, and I'll start trying to catch any price rises that I want. Yeah, I'll be activating it fairly. I'm 100% wildcarding this week, so yeah, the plan is to wildcard straight away. What are the chances you captain Ronaldo instead of Bruno in the end? About 10%. Can't see me captaining Ronaldo, to be honest. I don't like making last minute changes. So before the stream today, I tried locking in the free hit in my head. The reason for that is I don't want to be scrambling on the stream. I need to sit there quietly and have a real think about it. And if I start reacting quickly off stream, I'll probably end up making a dodgy decision or two. Martin says, best of luck, Ross. Thanks for all the help this week. I look forward to all the videos. Have a great weekend. Thank you very much, Martin. Also on the wildcard next week. Cool. So I'll see you for the wildcard content next week then. That's great to hear. Wood versus ASM. Why? I prefer Wood. Oh, my camera's lagging out a little bit there. Just going to restart my camera, guys. I am still here. So Dan, massive £10 donation. Thank you very much, Dan. I do really appreciate that. He says, I was undecided about free hitting or not, but you've inspired me. Love to hear that. Managed to fit in Salah, Son, Ronaldo, Fernandes in by tanking 2 on my bench. Thanks, pal, and respect for the fundraising. I really like that. Big 4, Salah, Son, Ronaldo, and Fernandes. 4 big premiums. I've pretty much got the same. I've just got Salah, Ronaldo, Fernandes, and Sancho. But yeah, thanks, pal, and respect for the fundraising. Thank you very much. I appreciate the donation and I appreciate the support very much so, mate. Jay says, if I free hit, but I've made already my transfers this game week, will my -12 return to nil? Yes. So if you take a -12 and then you free hit, your free hit wipes that hit out. So essentially, you will be left with no hit and you will have activated your free hit. So yeah, that's the way it works. Got another donation from Darshil. Massively appreciate that, mate. Thank you for the members are absolutely coming in clutch with these donations. I do really, really appreciate that. I should have known that you guys would be this supportive. So thank you so much. Camera will be back on in 2 seconds, by the way. Help me, Ross. Schmeichel, KWP, Target, Share, Barnes, JWP, Salah, Son, Fernandes, Ronaldo, Wood. How does this look? I think it looks great. Sarthak, I can't see any major issues with that. Yeah, I wouldn't make any major changes. Good job. Why Sancho over Rashford? I don't think Rashford will start both. I think Elanga will start one, Rashford will start the other. That's the reason I don't have Rashford. Also, Rashford is just not, his head's not in it at the moment. I actually think Rashford's slightly more likely to start the Liverpool game as opposed to the Norwich game as well. If I had to guess which one he'd start. So hopefully that helps answer your question there. Start a Marty or Robertson. I don't think a Marty will start both, so probably Robertson. Rudiger or Martinelli. Cornet or JWP. I just about prefer... If you don't have Adams, I quite like JWP. I think if you've already got JWP, then maybe you don't need to also go for... If you've already got Adams, maybe you don't need to go for JWP as well. Thoughts on benching Broja for Rudiger or James? I'd probably play Broja ahead of... I'd probably try and get James and Broja in, but I'd play Broja ahead of both of them, probably. What do you think the chances are of Mahrez starting Brighton? I think they're quite high, maybe 60, 70%. But if he starts in the FA Cup semi-final, which is definitely a possibility, then I don't think he starts in the Prem again. I think they'll play Jesus and Sterling and stuff. So it's impossible to know without seeing the Manchester City lineup, and unfortunately, we're not going to see that before the deadline. Is Saka captain a bad move? I don't think Saka captain's a bad move, but I think you could probably do slightly better. I think out of the doublers, there are lots of options that are better, but if he's your only doubler, I think that's fine. I know a lot of people that aren't free hitting this week will be captaining Saka because he'll be their main player that doubles with decent underlying data. What about right? That donation from Andre's taken us to £300, and what a donation it was. He's put, "This is for all the Wood captainers. Let's do it," which is amazing. So yeah, super cool. Let me run a poll. I'll be interested to see what you guys that are in the chat say. Try not to just pick who you have. Right? Imagine you're on a free hit. Who would you pick for this final spot? Because this is realistically the only thing that I'm going to change is this final spot. Oh my goodness, I can't type. This is what happens when you start streaming at 8:30. We've been going for 2 hours, 3 minutes, which is cool. Thank you for that, by the way, Andre, that donation. It's going to be Saka, Barnes, or Cornet. It's those three, right? Yeah. I've just slapped a poll in the chat. If you're watching this, do give it a vote. Cool. Marcus, become a member. Thank you very much. FPL Bateman, love to see it. One of the Twitter community. Thank you very much for supporting the channel and supporting charity as well. Obviously, massively appreciate that. So again, that donation for that membership will go towards charity. As will everything from today. Like I said, everything from today is going towards charity. We have hit £300, by the way, if you didn't hear. So £300 raised. Massively appreciate the support. Che Adams or Saka? I prefer Che Adams. I think Che Adams is a class pick for this week. I don't know why I'm creating the Che Adams bandwagon, but yeah, I know. Orin's made a fantastic point, and this is why I don't really care too much about polls. Everyone will pick Saka for confirmation bias about their teams. Absolutely. Saka is already at like 90% ownership in the top 100k, so everyone's going to pick Saka 100%. I know that for a fact. I've not looked at the poll yet, but it's going to be Saka is going to win. I've got Saka in just because his underlying data is the best of the three, and I can't make that decision. But I do really like the look of Cornet and Barnes, to be honest. Ludwig says, what are the benefits of becoming a tier 1 member? What a lovely question. Thank you for asking. So if you become a tier 1 member, so when you're looking at the memberships, tier 1, you get entered into our private Discord channel where all of the other tier 1 members, I've got about 40 or 50 tier 1 members now. So you'll be entered into that chat where we can chat to all of them. There's a private mini league as well. So private mini league, private Discord channel. You get member shout outs and you also get direct chatting to me if you want to. I'm not saying I'm a celebrity or I'm a top manager, but if you ever want to run your team by me, you can just DM me your team and I can take a quick look at it. So there are sort of 3 benefits above and beyond Wrap Tier 2, but of course Wrap Tier 2 is a lot cheaper. So it's up to you which one you want to go for. Am I the only person with Martinelli? No, you're not the only person with Martinelli. Martinelli's a great pick. I just think personally I would probably end up... I would probably prefer Saka just about for security of minutes. Yeah. So the chat are definitely favouring Saka. Saka with 65%, Barnes with 22%, Cornet, yeah. Okay. As I expected, to be fair. What else are we saying? Is your team locked, Ross? It's like 95% locked, yeah. I don't think I want to make any changes now. I wanted to see if I could get Barnes to first sub, though. Let's have a look at that together, all right? I'd quite like to get Barnes first sub over Cornet, I think. Let's have a look. Right. I don't know. I don't want to downgrade the bench too much just in case I need the bench, though. I don't want to like go with like a threadbare bench just to guess. So I'm 0.6 short. Okay. I'll do that. I think I want Barnes on the bench, I'll be honest. Too many players from Leicester. Oh, because I've got the keeper. Do I go for... Schmeichel's going to play, any? I'll go for Still. Right. This isn't a big change to my team, by the way, guys. I'm literally just switching out Bednarek and Cornet on the bench for Kelly and Barnes. I don't think I'm going to need a backup centre back, but I've got a Marty who'll probably play one game. And I just think if I do need my sub, if Salah's not, I think I want Barnes. So I'm going to confirm those. Right. There we go. I'll just switch these two on the bench. Right. I think I'm happy with that. As we were. Sorry, I did miss a couple of important... So I missed a super chat. I've just seen it from Edislav. Thank you. Why did you change your mind on Tellez? Good luck to your sister. Firstly, thank you for the donations and the kind words. Second reason, Edislav, is that I really wanted Sancho. I didn't change my mind on Tellez at all. I still think Tellez is a fantastic pick, but I really wanted Sancho in my team. And the only way to get Sancho into my team was to drop Tellez because I wanted Fernandes and Ronaldo. So I didn't change my mind on Tellez. Think it's great. And thank you for the donation. Right, Ross, decision made. Everything in my bones is telling me Maddison is playing both games, going to risk it. I hope you're wrong, because if he does, I'm in trouble, because he's going to have high ownership and he will do very well if he plays both. But best of luck, mate. Hopefully you smash it. Like I said, I always want my members to do well. Dan Smith, free hit finally activated. Schmeichel, Cancelo, Gabriel, Cher, Son, Martinelli, Bruno G, nice. Salah, Fernandes, Ronaldo, Wood. Great stream. We'll donate via the link. Thank you very much, Dan. Yeah, like I said, if you want to donate directly through the link, because obviously YouTube take a small portion when you donate, you can donate directly through the link. The link is in the description. I'm actually going to copy that through. I just think that's for the best, to be honest. Where is it? This is the link. Right? If you'd like to donate directly to my sister's schools, I'm sure she'll appreciate it, because the direct donations will come up straight away on her Facebook page. So if you want to donate directly to the Bone Cancer Trust, don't ban me, mods, for spamming my own chat. That's the link to donate to her charity, to the Bone Cancer Research Charity. So yeah, if you want to donate directly, that's fine. Got another super chat from Shambles again. Thank you very much. Free hit, Ronaldo, Son and Adams, or Kane, Maddison and Ward-Prowse. I personally prefer Ronaldo, Son and Adams. If you plug that into FPL review, that'd be very close, because they really like Maddison and Ward-Prowse. So I would go Ronaldo, Son and Adams. But I think most other people would probably tell you to go Kane, Maddison and Ward-Prowse. Up to you completely. Trust your gut feeling. I prefer the first combination. We've got another Tier 1 membership. So Ludwig, thank you very much. Like I said, your membership for this month will go to charity. All right, so that membership fee will go to charity for this month. So thank you very much for joining. Like I said, if you message me on Twitter, email me, or message me on Discord. If you're a Rap Tier 1 member, if you become a Rap Tier 1 member today, message me on Discord or Twitter and I'll get you added to our private Discord chat. Could you please rank Tellez, Zinchenko and Southampton offence? Yep. Tellez, Walker-Peters, Zinchenko would be my three in that order. So I prefer Tellez, but like I said, I've already got 3 Manchester United attackers. So I'd then go for Walker-Peters, and then I'd probably go for Zinchenko. I don't think Manchester City defenders are that exciting for me this week. Yes, Cancelo has the chance for mega haul. I just think you've got to back the doublers, in my opinion. By the way, you've got 18 minutes until the deadline. So I would recommend locking in your teams. It doesn't look like the website crashes like it did a couple of times early on in the season. So I think you'll be fine. But I would start locking in your teams. I think I'm locked in. I think I'm happy. What I do need to do is actually just screenshot my team. Just gonna apologies for doing this live on stream. Cool. There we go. Just so that I've got that to tweet out later, because I won't tweet it now. I'll tweet it out after the stream. I've got 2 more super chats from Mo's Vlogs. Thank you very much, Mo's Vlogs. Hi, mate. Bring in Wood for Laka -4 and who to captain? Salah, Son, or Saka? Yes, I would bring in Wood for Lacazette for a -4. I think that's probably worth it. Who to captain? And I've been asked this question. I keep going different ways with it. I actually think Salah probably out of those options there. But I do understand if you want to back the doubler. You could even, if you're bringing in Chris Wood, you could even captain Chris Wood there, to be honest. At least he's on penalties and he's got a double game week. Got another super chat from Schnaps. Thank you very much. Keep Weghorst or Wood for a 4-point hit, or hold Weghorst and switch Ramsey to Bruno G or Dewsbury Hall. I would go Ramsey to Bruno G. Yeah. If that was my team, I'd go Ramsey to Bruno G. If you could afford Cancelo, would you replace... No. I don't want single game week players, particularly. The only reason that I've really got a single game week player in there is because I think Salah's going to do very well this week. Got another super chat. Thank you very much. It's 4:40 a.m. here. Thank you for all of the great content. Thank you for watching at 4:40 a.m. I appreciate that. I've been going back and forth on Martinelli versus Saka. What tipped the scale for you to Saka? Their statistics are very similar if they both play 90 minutes, but because I think Martinelli's less likely to play 90 minutes, I've just leant towards Saka. So basically, it comes down to security of minutes for me. But I think Martinelli is an absolutely fine option. He's actually a very nice differential if you want to go slightly different. I don't mind that at all. Would you rather have Tielemans or Barnes? I have 2 million spare on my free hit at the moment. Definitely Barnes. As I showed you earlier, and again, if Tielemans gets a penalty, I'm very sorry. If Tielemans scores a shot from outside the box, I'm very sorry. Tielemans' minutes per expected goal involvement are 745. That means it takes him 745 minutes to accumulate an expected goal involvement. Tielemans is not a good FPL option if you take penalties out of the equation. Of course, he is on penalties, and if he gets a penalty, it makes him a great option. But if you're going to go for a penalty taker in midfield, I'd just go for Ward-Prowse. So again, I'm really sorry if Tielemans does score a penalty, anyone, but I don't think he's a good option, personally. All right, I'll end that poll. Is there any other polls you want me to run, by the way, whilst I have them available? Do let me know. Adams or Wood if you can only have one. I actually think Adams. I think Adams. But Adams isn't on penalties, whereas Wood is. So the penalties might make you switch towards Wood. Do you think Livramento will play both games? Yes, probably. Start Livramento or Kulusevski. Livramento for that reason. Will Martinelli be put at striker? I don't expect Nketiah to start. I expect Nketiah to start. But if he doesn't, yes. What I would say is I don't think Martinelli at striker is better than Martinelli on the left wing. I actually think that's slightly worse. He is a natural left winger. He does very well cutting in from the left. So I actually think Martinelli's the one to go for. If he's on the left as opposed to up top. I think Nketiah will start. FPL The Max says, been a fantastic stream, Ross. Good to see such support for a good cause. Good luck this weekend. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And thank you for your donation too. Ronaldo versus Bruno captain. So where I've landed on this, Darsha, is if Ronaldo starts both, I think he's the better captaincy shout. But just for security of minutes, I've gone with Fernandes. It's a bit of a cop-out. I think the high upside chasing risky move is Ronaldo. I look at my team, though. I've already got quite a few risks in there. I haven't got Son. I haven't got Kane. I haven't got Trent. I haven't got Cancelo. I think I'm happy with Bruno captain. It's a really tricky one, though. For me. Is St. Maximan over Woods a good punt? It's a fine punt, but I think Wood is the better option for me. If you look at the data, the fact he's on penalties, probably expected to get slightly more minutes in the double. At this stage, again, don't judge this on outcome. If St. Maximan scores 6 goals, it doesn't mean he was the better choice. At this moment in time, I think that Wood is the correct decision over St. Max, personally. We've got another Tier 1 member. Thank you very much. Alif Ahmed. I'm really sorry for butchering her name there. Alif, let me know how you pronounce it phonetically. Thank you very much for becoming a member, my man. If you could message me on Twitter or message me on Discord or just email me, I'll get you added into our Discord private chat. And you can start chatting away with our other members. I appreciate that, though. So, again, that membership fee will go to charity for this month. Get the Leicester backup keeper just in case something goes wrong last minute. Yeah, I actually had this just debate in my head. I can either get the Leicester keeper and have no playing good defender, because I've got a Marty in there now. There's no other good £4 billion option, really. So I can either go for the Leicester keeper and no backup defender, or I can go for Still, which means I don't have a backup keeper, and then a Marty. So either way, I've not got a particularly... I've got an issue either way, basically. It's pronounced Aleph. Aleph? Aleph. Aleph. Okay, Aleph. I don't know why I'm thinking so much, but thank you so much. I appreciate becoming a member. Welcome to the Rap Tier family. Like I said, drop me a message and I'll get you added later today. There you go. Darshill's already given you a warm welcome. FPL Diamond says, like the stream, guys. Support your quality channel with your content. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, do drop a like. Please do drop a like on the stream, guys. And do feel free to donate to charity as well. FPL Bateman says, Salah versus Tellez looks like a King Canute versus Wave sort of scenario. Yeah. Fair enough. Salah could be an awesome captaincy pick. I still prefer doublers, but out of all of the singlers, as you can see, because he's the only single game week player in my team, yeah, I think Salah is the guy. And to be honest, I think he is better than a lot of double game week players too. I would always favour the doubler, especially if you're on a free hit. I think you get in Ronaldo or Bruno and you captain that player. Guys, you've got 10 minutes until the deadline. I'm just going to have a quick scroll through Twitter because I just want to double check that. There is no early news. Like I said, feel free to let me know in the chat if you see anything that might be particularly exciting or particularly important or noteworthy for us FPL managers. Do let us know. Right. Can't see anything. I'm just going to scroll. Like I said, 10 minutes till deadline. Make sure you are locked in. Can you see anything, chat? Can you see anything important? Can you show some of your Game Week 34 wildcard drafts? I might actually continue streaming past 11 o'clock, but I don't know, to be honest. We might do a little bit. We'll see how I feel. You're going to be so upset when Barnes hauls. I will be upset for sure. I just don't know where to put him in. I want Sancho, Fernandes, Salah. If I bring in Barnes, it would be for Saka, but I'm still tempted. I might do it, to be fair. That's the final decision for me. I really, really, really want Barnes in there. The issue is Saka's going to start both and Barnes isn't definitely starting both. You've got Perez, you've got Lookman, you've got Maddison, you've got Daka can play out on the right, Ian actually can play out on the right. So I think just for security of minutes is what's making me lean towards Saka. And also he's got slightly better underlying statistics. Would you bench Livramento, Broja, or Weghorst? I'd probably bench Livramento. Salah and Saka or Mahrez and Son. It's got to be Salah and Saka for me. How about Barnes for Salah? Nah, I don't mind it, Aleph, but I want Salah in there. I think Salah's going to do very well. Unfortunately, I'm a Manchester United fan. If Salah blanks, I am buzzing. Absolutely buzzing. Assuming we win, that is. If Liverpool win and Salah blanks, that's a nightmare for me. But as a Manchester United fan, I don't mind either way. If Salah hauls, then I guess my FPL team does well. If Salah doesn't haul, then yeah, we'll see. Play James, Justin, or Cancelo. I'd risk it with Justin, probably. Good evening, Ross. Schmeichel and Burn or Dubravka and Tellez. The final decision on free hit. Really bugging me. Good luck. I'd go Dubravka and Tellez. Karthik. I think both are fine, by the way. I just think that the Leicester defence is really bad, and Tellez has got more attacking output than Burn. So for me, I'd go Dubravka and Tellez. Got Nahal with a super chat. Says, bench boost Dubravka, Rudiger, Marthley, and Weghorst. Yeah, I'd bench boost that. Yeah, I'd bench boost that. That's fine. How about share as a captaincy shout? Don't mind that at all. I've obviously got better options myself, in my opinion, but I don't mind it for you guys if you haven't got that many other double game week options. Should I bring in Wood for a -4? If so, which one should I bench to start in? Rudiger, Trent, or Kulo? I'd just bench Rudiger. Captain Saka or Barnes? I'd probably go Barnes just about. Adams or Wood in the free hit. I personally prefer Adams, but I think they're both good options. The good thing about Wood is that, of course, he's on penalties. I couldn't decide between both. I think they're both good options, hence why I've got Adams and Wood in there. I'm just going to refresh my page quick. I like to do this a couple of times. You're going to see my ritual. Just refresh a few times to make sure that nothing's failed to load in correctly. I think I'm locked, guys, to be honest. I can't see me changing my team too much. I think I'm happy to say that I am locked in. Bench Rudiger or James? I'd bench Rudiger. James is obviously less likely to start, but I think if he does start, we saw what he did against Arsenal earlier on in the season. Wood captain, Ross? Yeah, I think Wood captain is fine. A lot of our members are captaining Wood. -4 for Cancelo or bring in Laporte for the free transfer. I think -4 for Cancelo. I think long-term Cancelo is the better option. So Barnes first sub. Yeah, Barnes is sticking first sub for me. DJ Hammer says Salah, Saka and Kane are projected to have over 90% EO. Scary days, I went for Son over Salah. Yeah, but Son will have close to that anyway. I think you can't own every high EO player. And if you do, 420 likes, by the way, very nice. If you do own every high EO player, you're not gaining much with your... I think, if anything, on a free hit, you want to do the opposite. So I don't have Kane. I don't have Son. So they are my two big rank killers for me. Outside of that, Trent's a bit of a rank killer. Cancelo's a bit of a rank killer. But at the same time, if somehow Brighton completely contain Spurs and Kane and Son don't get a lot between them, I'm starting the game week with a small red arrow, but I don't have Son and Kane. And then I've got Fernandes and Ronaldo in their place. So... yeah, there we go. Nick says, thank you for all your help. I will subscribe when I get a job. No worries at all. You can subscribe for free. But yeah, if you mean become a member, absolutely no rush, my man. Why are you not captaining Wood over Bruno, Ross? I think Bruno's a better option. His underlying data is so much better than Wood's. And he's playing against Norwich. Walker Peters or Tellez? I prefer Tellez, but I think KWP's fine if you've already got triple Manchester United. I've already got Sancho, Fernandes, Ronaldo, so that's the reason. You've got 5 minutes, by the way, guys. 5 minutes until we are locked in. So make sure you lock in your teams, your final teams. How much bias is involved in 3 United players? Huge gamble. There's absolutely zero bias involved with Fernandes and Ronaldo. There's a little bit of bias involved with Sancho, if you want my honest opinion. Fernandes and Ronaldo are at the top of the list for underlying data, top of the list for projected points. They have on paper the easiest fixture against Norwich. They have a double game week. Fernandes and Ronaldo are fantastic options. Sancho is a bit of a gut feeling, bit of fun, bit of a bias pick. Yeah, for sure. Hello again, Ross. Sent a message on Twitter about the membership and Discord server. Cool. I'll get round to that early this afternoon, mate. I'll be having lunch after this of some kind because I haven't eaten yet. But yeah, I'll get round to that as soon as possible and I'll get you added to the Discord chat. Barnes or Maddison? I told you I prefer Barnes, but I think Barnes and Maddison are both good picks, and I think Maddison and Barnes are both fine captains as well. What do you think of Newcastle defence? I'm going triple defence. Yeah, Reeve is going triple defence as well. I think triple defence is absolutely fine. I just think Wood's a decent option as well. Godspeed and good luck, people. If you haven't donated yet, be sure to take a look if you can. Yeah, thank you for your donation, Nils, and thank you for suggesting that other people donate as well. Whatever we raise, I'll top up the donation as well. Raptor, please quick, Captain Salah or Kane? Salah. I think Salah. I think if you don't have 3 United on free hit, then you aren't optimizing the team. Yeah, that's what I think as well. If you're trying to optimize your team, if you're playing the free hit, you've got to go for at least 2 United, probably 3. Bench Davies or Rudiger? I'd bench Rudiger. Saka or Kane captain? Yeah, I'd probably just about lean towards Saka, Ludwig, probably. Nicholas T with the donation, thank you very much. Adams or Ward-Prowse and why? Adams' data is slightly better. If Ward-Prowse gets the penalties, the better pick, but I prefer Adams because his data is slightly better if you remove penalties. Tellez or Wyatt? Tellez for me. Would you start James or Robertson? James. Barnes for Sancho? No, I think Sancho's the one for me. I'm going to go for Sancho. Adams or Wood? I just about prefer Adams, but I think they're both good options. Kane hat-trick versus Brighton has a nice ring to it. Stop it, Darshil. Yeah, it does be fair. I expect a return from Son and a return from Kane. I do. It's just, I think if they only get one return each, and assuming Son doesn't get full bonus and a clean sheet point, which would take him to like 11, then I'm perfectly happy not having Son and Kane this week. So I'm hoping that they don't batter Brighton, is what I guess I'm going for here. Pick 2 for this game week. Amati, James, Tavares. James and Amati, probably. I don't think Tavares will start both, personally. And even if he does, he's not great. Got 1 minute. Please lock in your teams. Again, I'm just going to refresh. Make sure I'm locked in. Make sure my free hit is active. Yes. Make sure I don't take a massive point. Make sure you've activated your free hit in this final minute. It should say free hit active below it, right? Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm saying I'm happy because I'm not really happy because there are loads of players that I want that I can't possibly still get, which is a bit annoying. But I want Barnes in my starting 11. If I'm honest, the players that worry me are Maddison and Barnes, but you can't own everyone. All right, make sure you lock in. Make sure you lock in. Ooh. Right, deadline gone. Official. That is 11 o'clock. Good luck, everyone. Yeah, best of luck. We'll see how it goes, to be honest. My knees are weak, yeah. This is a bit of a nerve-wracking week, especially when you play your free hit, I think. But listen, we've spent a lot of time going through this. We've spent a lot of time trying to put together the best possible team. So I'm perfectly happy with it, to be honest. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm also trying to convince myself I'm happy with my team. Yeah, locked. We're good, we're good, we're good. You've made the best decision given what you know ahead of the deadline. Exactly that. If Ronaldo doesn't play for versus Norwich, that's completely out of control. For sure. I'm perfectly happy. I'm happy with my captaincy. I'm happy with my team. I'm happy with the order of the bench. I can't see any major issues with this team, apart from a lack of a Leicester mid and then no Son and Kane, but we'll see. Drop in the chat. Let me know who you've captained, by the way. Let me know in the chat. Just type in the chat who you've captained. By the way, if you are leaving, please drop a like as you leave the stream. And also, if you want to donate before you leave the stream, please do consider donating. I think this week we'll have the highest captaincy variance. I think you're right, Darshil. I think that is... I'm pretty confident that it will be a really sort of spread week for captaincy. Yeah, look at that. I've said type in your captains. CR7, Bruno, Son, Bruno, Cher, Son... So, realistically, from what I can see, Bruno Fernandes is the top captaincy shout. But you are in my stream and I've captained Fernandes. So, I wonder how much that influences it. Ronaldo. Top 3 looks like it's Son, Ronaldo, Bruno. Saka. Yeah, Saka's going to be captaining quite a few. Salah. Don't mind it at all. Yeah, Saka and Salah are creeping in a little bit here. Maddison. Couple on Maddison. Couple on Barnes. Yeah, don't mind that at all. Saka not on my free hit. Yeah, I think if you're not on your free hit, Saka's quite a popular choice. Kane, that's the first Kane captaincy I've seen. So he might actually be a differential captain for once. Koyati. Okay. Back to Saka. Yeah, that's fine. Was very close to Salah as Liverpool probably destroy Manchester United. Who did you go for in the M then, Marcus? I didn't see. Oh, Bruno. Yeah. I think Bruno's the correct captaincy shout on a free hit. Yeah, Andre on Chris Wood, using the Wood emoji. If Chris Wood hauls, I'm going to go absolutely ballistic. And I can imagine those that captain him are going to as well. Adams is the one for me. Adams is the one that I'm backing that I know not that many others are on free hit. So I'd like something from Adams. And Sancho, Ronaldo and Fernandes I'd like. If Manchester United smash Norwich, I'm going to be so happy because I've just been getting stick all week for picking these guys. If Manchester United beat Liverpool, my word, I'm going to be unbearable on Twitter. As a Manchester United fan with a triple up on Manchester United, I tell you what. Right, I need a wee again, but I'm actually going to stay for like maybe 15, 20 minutes and just chat about other stuff. So I'm going to pop to the loot. Feel free to leave. I know not a lot of people want to stick around for this. I'm going to keep streaming, though, for a little bit. We'll probably take it to about a 3-hour stream. Going to keep trying to raise money for charity. And we're going to chat about anything. We can chat about FPL moving forward. We can chat about me, my life, favourite films, favourite food. This is the part when we can chill a little bit because the deadline's gone. All right, so I'll be 2 seconds. Just going to pop to the toilet. And yeah, I'll be right back. Hello, hello, hello. Sweet Batman chair. Thank you very much. Yes, really nice gaming chair. Bought it about 4 or 5 months ago now. I love it. It's so comfy. Got adjustable stuff. Got a nice pillow as well when I want to lean back. All right, so chat about whatever you want. Like I said, anything in the chat. Please do. I'm just going to switch to this screen for a little bit because the whole point of continuing is obviously to raise a little bit more money for charity. So if you want to donate, that'd be amazing. The link is in the description to donate. Outside of that, if you could just consider potentially giving a super chat or becoming a member, that would also go to charity as well. Right, so you've got multiple options on how you would like to donate, but please consider it. It's for bone cancer research. The information is on your screen, so I'll leave it up here for a bit. And yeah, really proud of my sister. Helps to support the charity, so we'll see. Do you watch F1? I unfortunately don't watch F1. I was going to try and get into it as much as possible this season. I just don't have the time, to be honest. It's just, it requires a lot of time to get into a new sport that you don't understand. And I just don't have the time. So I haven't really got into it, no. What kind of games do you play? Always been a bit of a FIFA nerd, although this year, because of my YouTube, I don't have time to play FIFA either. YouTube is my hobby, right? YouTube takes up all of my spare time pretty much. Creating videos, creating graphics, live streaming, whatever it may be. So yeah, YouTube is my game, and FPL is my game. Outside of that, I always used to like Minecraft, actually. Even till a recent age, loved Minecraft, Call of Duty. The only game that I still play sometimes is with my sister and my brother-in-law. We sometimes play Rocket League. So yeah, I don't mind Rocket League as a game as well. I think that's pretty cool. Rocket League, I don't like playing by myself. I'd never sit down and play Rocket League by myself. But when you've got a party or some friends to play with, like that. I went for Ronaldo. One last shout for the GOAT before he leaves. Ronaldo's the GOAT. Yeah, I'm almost regretting not particularly going for Ronaldo, but I still think that Salah is the one. But I really was tempted by Ronaldo. Do you think Stones will become a regular starter now, or will Diaz come back into the week? Because if Walker's injured, I think it'll be Stones at right back quite a lot. But they've got Zinchenko that can play left back with Cancelo right back. And I think Diaz and Laporte is probably their strongest starting centre-back pairing. It's a really tricky one to predict. I think that's why I want to go for Cancelo. He's got the best underlying data, best for bonus points. And I actually think that he's probably the most nailed outside of Edison. So yeah. Your videos are the perfect balance between a short video and an FPL podcast. That's a very nice compliment. Thank you very much. I have thought about doing podcasts, but it's just not particularly rewarding, and it's an extra amount of time to set it all up and each week upload an audio version, etc. But yeah, they're more like a podcast, aren't they, than a video. They're not very short anyway. What do you think about Dyche's sacking, and who do you feel will replace him? I've heard Burnley are busy pouring pints of gravy to entice Big Sam. I am 95% certain that sacking Dyche was not planned. The reason I say that is if they'd have planned it, surely surely they would have had someone line up straight away, right? You don't just sack someone and then appoint Ben Mee as the manager. So for me, it means that they must have been impulsive. I think it's a terrible decision, whether they stay in the Prem or whether they get relegated and they have to get back up. I think Deitch is the one to do it for them. So I think it's a shocking decision. I do think that Big Sam's probably a decent interim replacement, though. Best TV shows you've watched recently? Recently, I haven't watched that many new shows, to be honest. I'm rewatching Always Sunny in Philadelphia just because it's class, but that's not new. I've watched that before loads of times, but I'm rewatching that. Outside of that, I can just give you my favorite series is probably Suits or Breaking Bad or Prison Break. Like those three are up there. Yeah. Massive super chat again from Max. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate the kind donation. That's like your fourth donation, Max. So thank you. I'm out. One last super chat to support a brilliant cause. Big ups. We'll DM you to show you what my team ended up with. Yeah, please do, Max. And thank you once again for another donation. It's really, really kind of you. Have you watched Line of Duty? I haven't. No. Is it good? Is it worth watching Line of Duty? I'm always down for getting some recommendations. I'll be honest. At the moment, I've been preferring watching short series, you know, like things like Always Sunny in Philadelphia, because I don't get a lot of time in the evenings to sit down and watch a proper program. What I have been doing when I have time is I've been running through the MCU films, so the Marvel Comic Universe. I've been running through all of those films in order from start to finish in chronological order. So I just watched, what did I watch last night? How have I forgot what I watched last night? Let me get my list. I watched, can't remember what I watched last night. Doctor Strange, Benedict Cumberbatch. That was really good. Never watched it before. I've only watched about 60% of the Marvel movies. So I watched Doctor Strange last night and that was absolutely class. My next one is Ralph Rangnick. Thor Ralph Rangnick. That's the next one for me, is to watch. I know Andy, Let's Talk FPL, didn't enjoy it very much. So yeah, the next one for me is the third Thor film. So I'm enjoying them, to be honest. I am really enjoying them. I don't think they're like the best films I've ever seen, but I'm definitely enjoying them for sure. The Thick of It is such a good watch. Yeah, I'll look at it. Line of Duty is not that long. You'll like it. Yeah, I'll give Line of... Do you know what? I'll give Line of Duty a try then. I'll give it a go. All of the MCU films are the same. No wonder you forgot. They do blend together if you like that. That's the reason everyone's saying that I've forgotten it. You can't even enjoy it that much. They're blending together. I'm watching quite a lot of them. So I watched Doctor Strange, Black Panther, Avengers: Civil War. I've watched in the last few days, and the first Spider-Man with Tom Holland. Tom Holland's a class Spider-Man, by the way. I really like him. That's a good question. Who's your favorite Spider-Man? Let me know in the chat. Who's your favorite Spider-Man? Who do you like as your favorite Spider-Man? I think, see, I grew up with Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man, but I actually think my favorite's probably Andrew Garfield. If you haven't watched all the Spider-Mans and you're not a nerd, by the way, then just ignore me. But I think I've only seen the first Spider-Man with Tom Holland, so I don't actually know. But Tobey Maguire's class. It's like the classic Uncle Ben. I don't know. I do think Andrew Garfield absolutely smashed it. So, yeah, Darshil, you've summed up exactly what I feel. Andrew Garfield, but Toby's the GOAT. Yeah, I think I'd say it like that. Peter, thank you very much for becoming a Rap Tier 1 member. Again, that Rap Tier membership for this month will be donated to Bone Cancer Research UK. So thank you so much for that. Again, I will post a screenshot of the amount that I donate. I'm going to top it up. It's currently at £326. I'll top that up to £350, which is fine. Or if it goes to £350, I'll total it up to £400. So whatever we reach, I'll try and donate a little bit more. Yeah, it's a bit of a mix. A lot of people fancy Tom Holland. I think that's maybe a bit of recency, but yeah, he was very good from what I saw. People of today's generation go for Tom, but OB say Toby. Deep down, they know all Andrew. Yeah, I like that. I liked Andrew, but I think he was too confident. Yeah, that is true. Andrew Garfield was the cockiest Spider-Man. Tom Holland's just made it his own. Tom Holland's, like, again, I've only seen the first one, but Tom Holland, it was such a different role. And the introduction to Spider-Man was very different. Like in the first two with Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, it's very, like, you go on the journey of him being going through all of that. With Tom Holland, you join Tom Holland already as Spider-Man, right? And he's obviously already
working with Tony Stark from and Iron Man from the Avengers. So it's a little bit of a different introduction to them. Yeah. When I watched them in chronological order, I rated each movie out of 10. I've done exactly the same. Yeah. I've been watching them in chronological order and I'm rating each of them out of 10. It made them more enjoyable, but it was quite sad when I finished. Yeah, I'm going to be quite sad. I'll read you the ones that I've got left. I've got Thor, Ralph Rangnick. I've got Ant-Man and the Wasp, Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, Spider-Man Far From Home. So I've only got a few left. And then I've also got Eternals, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and Spider-Man No Way Home. But I don't think all of those are out. So I've got like 5 or 6 left, to be honest. So, yeah. I've been really enjoying it, to be fair. Hey, we have a new Rap Tier 1 member, Frederick. Is it Frederic? Are you French or is it just Frederick? Let me know. Or Fred. Let me know what you want to be called, man. I know you watch a lot of my videos here and on Fantasy Football Fix, so thank you very much for becoming a member. Like I said, your membership for this month will be donated to bone cancer research. So thank you very much. It's very kind of you. Like I said, if you drop me a Twitter DM or if you message me on Discord, I'll get you added to the chat. I've got a few people to add today, which is absolutely fine. You've only got one good movie left. Really? I thought Thor was great, everyone seems to say. And as far as I understand, both Avengers and the second Spider-Man are good films as well. I thought this is where they get really good. French, yes, very nice. My French accent's terrible, but I know it's Frédéric. That's a terrible French accent. I'll try and improve that for the next time. I was brought up on 70 Spider-Man. Very cool. Yeah, I was born in 1997, so definitely not for me. Ask about the best Batman. Yes, great question, Darshil. Who's the best Batman? It is Thor Ralph Rangnick. It is Thor Ralph Rangnick. We had there's a Manchester United chat. Rather than calling it Rangnick, rather than Thor Ragnarok, we called it Thor Rangnick. Yeah, all of them bar NWH are on Disney Plus, and the Hulk isn't on Disney Plus. I can't find Hulk anywhere. I couldn't find it on. That's the one I had to skip it. I can't find it on Amazon. Can't find it on Netflix. I can't find it on Disney Plus. How do you get the away kits? It's an extension. If you follow FF_Trout on Twitter, it's an extension that you can download. You should have watched them earlier and watched No Way Home at cinema. Yeah, I probably should have. I was brought up on, yeah, let's read that one. What we got? Sorry, that's where I was. MCU or Star Wars? I'm going to probably lose half the chat here. I've never actually watched any of the Star Wars. So, are they worth watching? I don't know. You either get people that are massive fanboys, like, how have you never watched Star Wars? They're the best films ever. Or you get people that just say they're just not worth it and it's more about the culture. I don't know many people that go, yeah, they're pretty good. It seems to be they either love them or they just tell me that they're not worth it. And the issue is with Star Wars, I never know what order to start watching them. And there are so many films from different generations. I just don't have a clue where to start. So maybe I will watch the Star Wars. Christian Bale. Yeah, Christian Bale is my favourite Spider-Man for sure. For Batman, I should say. Ever read Papillon, the film adaptation with Steve McQueen and Dustin Hoffman is a masterpiece? No, I haven't. I'll add that to the list. Or DM me, and otherwise I'll probably forget, to be fair. Ben Affleck, first one I watched. Yeah, Ben Affleck wasn't bad. Batfleck had potential. Yeah, Batfleck did have potential. I don't mind Ben Affleck. I just think... I haven't seen the new Batman, by the way. I need to watch that. I have never seen Lord of the Rings, so I feel you on that regard to Star Wars. Yeah, Lord of the Rings are fine. I actually prefer the Hobbit films to Lord of the Rings, which, again, normally gets me a lot of stick. Star Wars 4 is chronologically the first Star Wars. Goodness me, that doesn't sound very useful, does it? You have to watch Star Wars in this order. 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. What a mess that is. Okay. Yeah, that sounds... Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll do it once I finish the MCU films. I've never had the real desire. Best James Bond. These are all the questions we want. Yeah, who's your best James Bond then? So, for me, best Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield, just. Best Batman, Christian Bale. And best Bond for me is Daniel Craig, but that's just because that's my generation. I've only watched a few of the old school James Bonds. And I do think Daniel Craig is excellent. So, Who's your favourite Bond? I'm going to have to leave before I learn any more about your Star Wars and Hobbit preferences. No worries, mate. Thank you for being there. Thank you for the donations as well. Massively appreciate it. I'll probably stop streaming soon anyway. About another 10, 15 minutes we'll go. Brosnan and Craig can't decide. Yeah, I think that'll probably be quite a common consensus. Do you think KDB will start? I don't think he'll start the Liverpool game. I think he might start against Brighton. We'll have to wait and see. Let's see what's going on over on Twitter. See you there. Oh, God. Can't see anything crazy happening over on Twitter. Yeah, I don't think anything crazy is happening over on Twitter. Harry Potter is the GOAT series. Yeah, it is class, isn't it? No way Hobbit is better than Lord of the Rings. It's just my personal opinion. If you'd have said Roger Moore, then I would have had to block you. Yeah, no, not for me. Can't update my team. Yeah, about another sort of 30, 40 minutes until the site will update. Can you get the away kits on the app? Not on the app. It has to be on the browser because it's a Chrome extension. The new Star Wars trilogy is awful, but the rest are great. Okay. Who will win the Champions League in your opinion? City, unfortunately. It's going to be a City-Liverpool final in my opinion. Have you watched How I Met Your Mother? Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I know other people hate it. I really enjoyed it. I also enjoy Big Bang Theory, which I know other people hate as well. I think if you've got a background in science, Big Bang's actually really interesting. Like, I understand the canned laughter is pretty annoying and stuff like that, but the science behind it's actually all accurate. They consulted quite a few scientists to make the series, so I actually really like it. Favorite team from Serie A, La Liga, and Bundesliga? Serie A, probably Inter Milan or AC Milan. I like Inter, to be fair. Again, that's just probably my era. La Liga, I like Villarreal. Good evening. Good evening. And Bundesliga, probably Dortmund. Yeah, maybe Milan, Dortmund, and Villarreal. I don't really watch enough of the other leagues to have a real favourite team. Will I be able to make any transfers before being locked out? You were locked out 20 minutes ago, unfortunately. The deadline was at 11 a.m. Liverpool City predictions. 2-1 to Liverpool. Bold prediction there. 2-1 Liverpool. Raging Himian was taken off Netflix. I didn't know it was. That's annoying, yeah. Brooklyn Nine-Nine is absolutely unbelievably good. Brooklyn Nine-Nine is class. I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Watched it again. I watched the new season recently because I hadn't actually caught that. Any favourite foreign language film? Yes. Untouchable. Oh, God, Frédéric's in the chat. That terrible French accent. In English, it's in Untouchables. It's absolutely brilliant. And it's the music in it is great as well. That's how you can find it. But obviously, don't watch it dubbed. Watch it in French with English subtitles. It's such a good film. Again, it's basically Ludovico Einaudi, so for me it's some of the most beautiful music you'll see. If you haven't watched it, you should definitely give it a watch. Favorite music artist? Yeah, probably Drake and Dave. I like rap music, which probably you wouldn't expect looking at me. Probably my favorite is Dave, Santan Dave. If you're American, by the way, if you're not from the UK, you might not know Dave as well, but he's absolutely class. Money Heist. I haven't seen Money Heist. No. Have you watched Squid Game? I watched Squid Game. It was fantastic. Yeah, I really enjoyed Squid Game. No, but I haven't watched Money Heist. Will you be covering World Cup Fantasy? Of course I will. Next Christmas is going to be absolutely brilliant. We're going to have Christmas and World Cup Fantasy. Can't wait. Yeah, I'll be covering it. I'll probably only do one video a week and maybe one stream. So I'll probably focus on trying to just basically team selection and then maybe a stream. I won't make as much content. I'll take it as a bit of because it's over Christmas as well. And yeah, and it doesn't go on for that long anyway. So I don't want to pump too much time and effort into that. Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones, which is the GOAT? I'm going to shake things up and I'm going to say the GOAT series, the best series of all time for me is Prison Break. Prison Break and Suits. Prison Break and Suits are my two favorite series of all time. Alice in Borderland. I've not seen Alice in Borderland. Will you be activating Wildcard today? And congrats on the money raised. Thank you. Yeah, we're on £326. So I'll top that up to £350 and then I'll post a picture once I've tweeted that out. Once I've donated the amount, I should say. Will I be activating the Wildcard today? Probably this evening. It depends. If there's no price rises today, then I might not bother. But yeah, I'm going to probably be activating today. I listen to American rap like Drake, Kanye, Juice WRLD, Travis Scott. Yeah, Drake's my favorite out of those. Don't mind Travis Scott and Juice WRLD. Kanye's old stuff I like. I don't particularly like his new stuff. Money Heist is class. Just need to get over that English dub over the Spanish. Yeah, English dubs over certain languages work really well for me. I've never tried a Spanish film, but French films, I really don't mind English dubs. But Squid Game took me a while to get used to as well. How about the Office US version? Office US version is... Sorry. Office US version is probably my favorite short series of all time. I mean, like those short episodes. I'd probably say The Office. Is there any others? Probably is The Office, yeah. Office US. I haven't actually ever seen The Office UK. I'm going to be very controversial and lose the final few people watching this. I'm not a massive fan of Ricky Gervais, so I've never watched the UK Office, but US Office... unbelievable. Really like it. But again, I like Steve Carell. I think he's excellent. Prison Break Season 1 is the best series of all time. I would agree that Prison Break drops off a little bit, but it's still a fantastic series for me. Michael. It's just Lincoln the whole time screaming, Michael. If you've not watched Prison Break, that sounds very strange. If you've watched Prison Break, you know. And like, I just think that the acting, like Teabag in Prison Break, for me, this is a great question, by the way, for the 135 people listening to me ramble on about all sorts of crap. Who would you say is the best villain in a TV series of all time? And I'm talking about not only like being scary, but great acting, a good like full character arc. You know, like they go from bad to good to bad and you're not sure how you feel about them. I'd say Teabag from Prison Break is probably there for me. Like Lord Baelish in Game of Thrones is another one that's pretty good. Like who is your... Let me know the series, by the way, because if you don't tell me the series, I might not know the character. But let me know who the person is and what series. The best sort of like... Yeah, like I just think Teabag was so good in Prison Break. Daniel Hardman, yeah, that's actually a good shout. That's a good shout. Jamie Lannister. Jamie Lannister's a shout. I won't ruin Game of Thrones for everyone, but that's a good character development. That's a fantastic character development for sure. Sophie from Peep Show. I've not seen Peep Show, actually. Oh, my camera's lagging. Let me a second. I'll just turn off my camera for 2 seconds. Yeah, I don't know why. For some reason, Teabag for me is one of the best characters. Jesse and James from Pokemon. I like that. Ramsay Bolton. Oh, Ramsay Bolton. There's not much of a character development with Ramsay Bolton, but my word, what an incredible actor. Especially, again, if you've seen Ramsay Bolton in real life, he's such a nice guy. Yeah, that's a decent shout. The Vulture. Yeah, the Vulture in Brooklyn Nine-Nine's good. Oh, Oswald. Yeah, that's a shout. I haven't seen the new season of Peaky Blinders yet, so I need to rewatch that. But yeah, that's a class shout. Did you see where Gary Neville said that he is being called Teabag? Yeah, I did. Gary Neville does look identical to Teabag. Negan. Yes, from Walking Dead. If anyone's seen Walking Dead, Negan is absolutely class. Yeah, do you know what? That might be an equal shout with me for Teabag, Negan. Negan's a pretty good shout. My wife just sighed because she heard you think the US Office is superior to the original Office. Yeah, I know. I know a lot of people say that. The issue I've got is that it really comes down to me when you're watching a series like that, do you like Steve Carell or Ricky Gervais? I think Steve Carell is absolutely hilarious. Ricky Gervais gets on my nerves a bit. Maybe if I were to watch UK Office, I'd feel differently. But I tried watching the first episode, and I think my issue is I started watching the US Office before the UK one. And once you watch one of them, I think it's very difficult to like the other one. So yeah, Louis from Suits. Lewis, I should say, not Louis. He's not a baddie, is he? I don't know. I think he's I guess maybe potentially. Negan's the one. Yeah, I think Negan might be the one. Not seen the Peep Show. Wow, it's very funny. Well worth trying out. Yeah, maybe I'll give Peep Show a go. How long are the episodes for Peep Show? UK Office just isn't funny. If you think Ricky Gervais is funny, then it's hilarious, I think. But like I said, I've struggled with him in the past, unfortunately. Which I know is annoying because he's like a British cult hero, but he's a good villain in the beginning. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's fair enough. By the end, he's definitely not, but yeah, at the beginning. I really want to watch Suits. This is just making me want to watch Suits, I'm not going to lie. Like I said, I started watching Always Sunny in Philadelphia again recently, just because I wanted something easy to watch in the evenings. 25 minutes is, yeah, I'll watch Peep Show then. I'll add that to the list, definitely, Vicky. Thank you for the suggestion. Homelander from The Boys, his actor is incredible. Okay, I've never seen that. I think sometimes the villains or the baddies in these series make it more than the main characters. UK Office is overrated. Yeah, I think so, but again, I haven't given it a proper go, to be fair. I've got 2 free hits, wildcard, and bench boost left. Jesus, Patrick, you've saved all of your chips for the end. Which weeks would you play them? I would go wildcard 34, free hit 36, bench boost 37, free hit 38. You don't really need the wildcard. You've got 2 free hits. That is a very, yeah. I'd go wildcard 34, free hit 36, bench boost 37, free hit 38. Dennis, after that first double game. Yeah, Dennis is an FPL villain, isn't he? This country is an immense comedy show. Yeah, to be fair, I don't. I've heard good things, but I don't know for certain. That's all. Gamora is the goat of all foreign TV programs. Gamora. What language is that? I've never even heard of that. Gamora. No, I've not heard of that myself. As the site wouldn't have updated after half an hour, would it? No, the site's still updating. Oh, we can get the Spurs team news, I guess. Let's have a look. Is there any surprise bench? There's not going to be any. It's going to be Kane till yeah. So Kane, Kulusevski, Son, Reguilon, and Emerson Royale both start. Romero, Dyer, Davis is literally the most obvious starting 11 possible. Right, so no big surprises. If you've got Kulusevski, Son, or Kane, they start and they're ready to destroy my rank. It's Italian. Okay, cool. Yeah, I've genuinely never seen it. Never even heard of it. Yep, so Son, Kane, and Kulu all starting. Right, guys, I think I'm going to leave it there then. Thank you for this monster 3-hour charity live stream. If you'd like to donate, the link in the description can take you to that. So there is still plenty of time to donate if you would like to. Goes on for the next 2 weeks. If you want to donate, I'm probably going to mention it again on Twitter. We're at £326.68. So what I said, like I said, I'm going to bump that up to £350. Donate that to Bone Cancer Research Trust through my sister's link. And yeah, that will all go towards Bone Cancer Research Trust, which is absolutely great. And I just want to thank you all. If you've been here for the entire thing watching it, if you've donated any money, some of you have donated a ridiculous amount of money. I just want to thank you very much for that and know that it's going to a very, very worthwhile cause. All right. So thank you very much for being here today. This is my final free hit team. Fingers crossed for a green arrow. I really need it. I've had 3 red arrows on the bounce. I could do with a big green arrow. Next week, we've got some wildcard content. So do subscribe. Tune in for that wildcard content next week. But until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching. Cheers. Bye-bye.